Hey guys, I'm here. We're going to
I am destroying the intro.
You destroyed the intro, crowd. Well, a feminist got triggered.
Yeah. For the final time. For the last
time. Not too
time.
soon, crowd. As I said before, like too soon is literally 5 seconds before it happens. That's when it's too soon.
Okay, so I actually don't think we should be enjoying this because
I'm not enjoying this.
The woman got killed, and he wasn't really part of any group that I care about. So
now that we got the moral fagging out of the way, let's actually do this. I like the fact that some of the SJWs on Twitter, according to Lewis, or was it Buzalu who said it, they might be starting to go, it's like, oh, Sargon of Akkad had a mass murderer on his stream because, you know, they have to exaggerate it a bit.
I'm looking around. It's amazing how many people have actually interacted with this guy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
No. The turning around thing isn't really new because, you know, in my last video, I revealed that one of them blackmailed someone.
Really?
Yeah,
impersonated them and blackmailed them, extortion and blackmail. And I literally had Garrett, Jabba the Cuck, turn up and say, well, that means he was one of you guys.
Oh, so that
if
anyone,
yeah, like if anyone uses the accusation that this was you know, we're responsible for having this person on our stream or anything like that, he was with Christy Winters, just to point out. Like, he had probably a lot of feminists on his channel as well, so it wouldn't work in their favor to say, "Oh my God, you had a criminal on your show."
It's interesting how he was friends with Christy Winters, wasn't he? I wonder if she has, you know, I wonder if she thought, well, his mental state is unstable or something like that.
He's also been friends with you, Sargon.
Dude, we all knew each other through the internet. There's no fucking way that we can tell what each other's meant. Okay, I have anger management issues, and it's fairly fucking obvious, but really? we can't really look into each other's private lives.
What do you mean, Carl?
Shall we go through the facts of the case?
Hold on, just a bit.
I think it's important to stress that it's only alleged at the moment.
But before we did that, didn't I ask you, Crowd, to look at Inkblots before I got you on my channel? Didn't I test you for, you know, any... Well, I did test all of the people that I get here to see if there are any potential crimons or murderers. I do background checks on them.
I actually have only one thing on my criminal record, so...
you do have one thing on your criminal record.
Yeah, when I was 16, I was arrested for playing football with friends on the Autobahn.
Oh, you monster.
Yeah.
that is horrible. But doesn't it like go away from your criminal record from your 16?
Once you play football on the Autobahn.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're playing fucking soccer on the highway? Are you insane?
Yeah. The disruption of public traffic, that's the charge.
Well, isn't that the place where auto vehicles that have hundreds of kilograms run at incredibly high speeds?
Yeah, I know. Jesus Christ.
Hey, there's someone on Twitter called Miss Anonymous who claims to be in contact with one of the victims. Mm-hmm. And she said that, I'll quote the last tweet she sent verbatim. I don't know how true this is. She says, he's told me that, oh, fucking Twitter. He's told me that neither of them, RD or victim, I assume, I don't know what RD is, had but the perpetrator, alleged, had violent tendencies, but that he may have had a PTSD-related episode. So neither of them had violent tendencies, but he may have had a PTSD-related episode.
Ooh, that sounds really horrible.
I've asked if she can come on the stream, but she can't at the moment, unfortunately.
Jesus Christ, that sounds really fucking horrible.
Mm.
Well, now you ruined the fun of it, Rosalo. Couldn't you hold this till the end?
Okay, so he got triggered.
I bet you ruined the fun of it.
Get triggered, yeah.
Wow,
well, apparently, Skeptor came up to me 6 months ago, and he told me that he's running a charity, like because one of the girlfriends from the skeptic feminist apparently ran away from his place and gone to her home, and her parents were very religious and then locked her in her house and didn't want her to come back to the Russian individual. But now he was raising to get money to buy a bus and go to her parents, and I thought that, okay, that's really messed up. I'm not going to get involved, you know.
I actually do have to say that he seemed to be a really calm person. Someone who
I'm quite surprised by this as well. To be honest.
he didn't seem unhinged to me at all. I mean, he's definitely, he's not as some people in their community are fucking unhinged as fuck, but he's really calm. He struck me as a very calm person, someone who very rational indeed.
Well, evidently not that calm and rational, I suppose.
He's a good boy.
Well, to be honest, if you have PTSD episodes, and I mean that kind of shit, if you have flashbacks and shit like that, that can really fuck you up to a pretty bad extent. So you can be a very calm person on the outside. I mean, my grandfather, World War II veteran, he just beat the living crap out of his kids and out of his wife. But in public, he always behaved very calmly and shit like that.
I think you can beat the shit out of your kids and wife without having PTSD. Just saying.
Yeah. Okay.
The other thing is too is that ultimately, even with issues with PTSD, if he did actually have serious mental concerns, it's on him to actually go through the process of trying to seek help. And
maybe not to live with two women in a very strange love triangle.
Right.
It wasn't really a triangle because it kind of intersect, like how should I say, like a triangle, has like each thing with doing it with the other two dots. But in this case, it was like all three dots at once, from what I understand.
Only orgies, exclusively orgies, is what you're saying.
I don't know, but I assume like the lady, it wasn't like a conservative Muslim family where the wife puts the slippers at the door, right? It was the ladies were doing it with each other as well.
Breaking the conditioning.
Yes.
How do you guys feel about having that girl on the stream?
Well, I don't know. I mean, what
I'm fine with her.
What a girl.
Hold on, right? It's just a person who
a female
claims,
perspective.
like. Can she prove she actually knows the victim?
No, this is not the person that says she knows
No, that's
the victim.
not her. It's someone else.
The Miss Anonymous can't come on right now. That's the person that claims she knows the victim.
But if anyone wants to come, I'm willing to get them, but they have to prove that they actually know the person.
No, okay. I'll just put it on 4chan. That'll be fine. Maybe I'll give it to Angry.
Apparently, it's one of the two girls, right? It's
Yeah, all indications point towards it. So he's been charged. He's been arrested and charged with second-degree murder, which indicates to me it's unlikely to be deemed self-defense.
Yeah, and they're not looking for other suspects. That's a very clear sign.
I actually read one report that said that they were, but I'm not sure about that. So what's more, it seems that he was in his home when it happened. I don't know that for sure, but what I've seen indicates that he was in his home. And after 2 shots were heard, he came outside and was combative and agitated, I think was the...
So a feminist fighting for women's rights had her dead to rights.
Thank you, V, for tabloiding it up for us.
Well, what did you expect? But
she just wasn't feminist enough.
Fucking Christ. What is it with male feminists? I swear to God.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? How many fucking convictions can we actually have? How many?
I wouldn't go that road, to be honest. I wouldn't go that road.
Yeah, normally they're sex offenders. That's true.
Yeah, just to trigger Spino here. Hey, Spino, I know you're listening to this because Sargon's your god. You probably have a picture of him next to your wall, and whenever you go to bed, you go like, Carl. But I probably think that there's more convicted feminists right now than there's more convicted people from the alt-right camp.
Yeah, that's probably true. The ones from the alt-right generally get convicted.
I mean, please show me the statistics proving this isn't the case, but I constantly see people who are feminists and social justice just ending up in prison for some reason.
Sex offenses. I'm not joking when I say that.
Yeah. That or domestic battery, something to that effect.
Yeah. My favorite one was Devon Ferrati when he started whining about Trump's pussy grabbing, and then some woman on Twitter was like, "Don't you remember the time you grabbed my pussy, Devon?" And he was just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry."
Did you see that recently? Dan Arrell, who is one of these people on Twitter who unironically has a black flag in their name.
Yeah, unironic communist.
Yeah, he said something to the effect of, "You should always believe." Women who claim to have been raped.
Yeah, and then people are accusing him of rape.
People are accusing him of raping them. Yeah.
What if it's actually
believe them? Shockingly.
What if it's actually done by one of those CIA niggers?
That's a reference to Mr. Medicare.
I think you'll find it was probably an FBI child sex worker. All right. So...
Okay. You know why I love the internet? We get to look at this through a lens of a little bit of humor. Because if you were to be confronted with something like that, you wouldn't be in the position to make even a small fucking joke.
Through the lens of humor, while the bodies are still warm.
Bodies aren't warm yet.
Yeah, but at least I'm not claiming like moral high ground. Like I know I'm underneath the moral the moral hill right now. You know, I'm in the ground when it comes to morality for making this video, so I'm not going to get on a high horse and say like.
In Soviet Russia, feminist shoots woman.
That's funny because he's Russian. I bet Sargon is feeling horrible for laughing.
Did you just say it was because he was Russian? I think that's
Is Trump involved in this murder? I need to know.
You know the cliche of the
BNT.
You know the American cliche of the American cliche of the racist grandfather and the racist grandmother.
Yes.
That also exists in Germany. And I had my great grandmother would like at every Christmas dinner, fuck the Jews. The Jews ran all the banks. Fuck the Jews. And you cannot trust Russians. Russians are murderous scum. And yeah.
Holy shit.
She was bully your leader. Yeah, didn't the Russians bully your leader until he committed suicide?
Well, the Russians killed 8 of my great-grandmother's brothers, so I kind of understand it a little bit, but still.
Yeah, but I don't like Germany had a good leader, right? He loved the animals. He wanted.
All I know is that now Russia is exporting murderers to American society. They're not rigging. They're not only rigging our elections. Russians are murdering women in America.
Let me explain. No, let me explain how it is, right? I'm telling you how it is. Like in Eastern Europe, we actually have police that do their job here, right? And they notice that in the West, like America, they have police that don't know how to do their job. So obviously they're going to do crime there because it's a lot easier. They play it on easy mode.
So what you're saying is basically this is a Russian version of a feminist jihad?
Feminist jihad. The gun of peace. Well, I'm curious, like, are we going to hear like this had nothing to do with feminism?
Well, to be fair, probably
he was
didn't really have anything to do with feminism, did it? Let's be honest.
It
Well, we don't know
probably
that
didn't,
yet.
yeah, I know.
We don't know for sure.
See, I like Usama. This is
we
why
can
this.
speculate.
Jesus, what has this devolved to?
I know, we did this.
Well, I think at the very least, we probably won't see many more videos from his channel.
Oh, Christ. You know,
I'm sorry to disappoint fans of the Skeptic Feminist YouTube channel.
please.
It might, the amount of video might.
No,
decrease.
you know what I think?
Please tell me you're monetizing this and that you're making shekels from this.
Of course I am. But you know what's going to be funny? Like a lot of people, listen, a lot of people are now going to go on his channel. It's going to be like the dead artist, you know, who has the work.
Yeah,
Dead artist.
he's going to be bigger than ever.
Hold on. I think he's killed 2 things with this murder: a human and a channel.
No. I think the channel will grow.
He's going to get loads of views.
Yeah,
The channel's going to get views, but no more
Like,
content.
I hope he passed down the password to the other girlfriend. At least someone can use the money.
She can keep the legacy alive. She
He needs to use the money for his legal
capitalize
fund.
on the attention.
Well, we're being
You know, I think she said she didn't like his music collection.
Yeah.
I think
How much
she's
is that?
sexist, actually.
Led
if I
Zeppelin's
recall correctly.
responsible for this.
I'm actually going through his channel right now and taking a look at some of the comments. People have already noticed it. I'm looking at who he's promoting as well. That might be a little embarrassing in the future. Hey, I'm listed as a related channel.
God.
And so are you, Sargon.
Oh,
Not
God.
only the Russians, it's the Germans too.
He's
I think the Russians hacked him. I think this is what happened.
He's promoting Kevin
hacked his
Logan's
brain.
They
Spanish
hacked
Taurus
his
King
gun.
points,
Kevin and
painting
Spider.
success.
Oh, God.
Russians, get out of my gun! No.
Honestly, no. Honestly, on a serious note, if you're promoted on that channel, you might want to get in touch with YouTube to try to get that off.
Why?
Yeah, I think this is going to get more mainstream.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
I wouldn't worry either.
I bet the mainstream starts painting him as all kinds of things he's not.
He talked to Sargon, the misogynist.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he
was
also
a real
talked with Lacey
misogynist.
Green.
He's like an IRL misogynist.
He was a good friend of Skepta. So when Paul gets on it, he was influenced by Mr. Sheklerstein from Israel or some shit like that.
I know what's going to happen. The mainstream media are going to say, man kills woman. This is a misogynist anti-feminist. Then they're going to find his channel. Oh, wait, he was a feminist.
No, imagine if he was alt-right. Like, you would see on The Guardian.
Oh, God.
It'd be front page New York Times.
From the alt-right kills woman.
Imagine if Richard Spencer murdered a woman.
Jesus Christ.
God.
Well,
it would be like a month straight.
I'm curious what would happen
in Trump's America in them as well.
Yes, hold on. I'm curious what would happen if Anita Sarkeesian would murder someone. Like, what would the articles be like? I'm curious.
God, she didn't do nothing.
What?
Imagine what Polygon. They shill.
Can you imagine how many videos I do on it? That would be.
Do people like Polygon actually have the spine to regard her murdering someone as like bad enough to stop endorsing her?
No.
Yeah, I think the
fallen feminist hero. That's what it'd be, or justified murder.
She couldn't take the oppression anymore. She just snapped. And this is something that happens to a lot of women this day. If you go to a woman's prison, every woman's story is the same. One day she just snapped and shot the bitch.
Or she was defending herself. That would be the argument.
Yeah, look at the definitely self-defense against the person who doesn't.
Look at that chick from the Women's March who tortured and murdered a guy.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? She actually did it, and do you know she tortured him for 2 weeks?
Yeah,
2 fucking weeks.
To be honest, the thing that surprised me about all of this is I had a conversation with someone quite a long time ago. If you go to alt-right YouTubers, the further you go right, the further insane it gets. And there's, for example, an alt-right YouTuber, who talks about how the color violet, was invented by Jews to degenerate the white race and shit like that. And he talks about the necessity to colonize and exterminate certain ethnicities once the white ethnostate has been established. And, I watched this kind of shit, and I told my friend, I think it will be one of these people who will be the first to actually get off YouTube and commit an actual crime.
Probably.
I was proven wrong. But
do you want to see, guys, how I can trigger Lewis really, really bad?
Okay.
Right. So, obviously, this horrible tragedy has happened, and we need to talk more about gun regulations. I honestly think guns shouldn't be so easily available. Like,
you're not going to trigger me on that. I'm not really a gun enthusiast.
Billy actually wants to disarm the public. If you didn't know.
Yes, I want to come from Romania to take your guns away. This is how I'm going to do it.
I seriously hope he doesn't have a video on his channel criticizing gun control.
No, he likes guns. He actually likes guns.
I wouldn't think he would. He strikes me as the sort who's probably pro-gun use.
No, he was in the military, I think. So
yeah.
Hence the PTSD potentially.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck did he see in Russia? Like, the Russians actually have like activity.
Dude, what fucking don't you see in Russia? Do you not watch like the dash cam footage?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Russia.
That's what I mean. They're exporting their murderous culture to America.
But I mean, like Russia military. Like,
I'm going through his Twitter feed. One of his last tweets was one of his recent tweets was, "Hi Lacey, we're feminists and longtime fans of your work. We also engage with the other side, and we'd like to have you on." So I guess that might be one of the reasons why the fellow SJWs of him, for example, turned on him.
Oh, it's not just that. It's because you see, when you're on SJW, like there is one thing you never do, and that is talk to Sargon. Like,
of course.
And yeah, he actually, I love Sargon. Not you, Carl. I love the concept of Sargon because when I go on NeoGAF, right, and they talk about anything, they always bring Sargon. He's like the Satan, It's like going to a Catholic church and hearing them talking blah blah blah. Satan is everywhere and he's watching you. And it's the exact same shit when you go to NeoGAF. It's like Sargon is watching this and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time on NeoGAF, guys.
And it's not just NeoGAF. Like if you go on 4chan or 8chan on Paul or on BTAR,
Sargon is there. He has multiple accounts. He is there. I can confirm that.
I've got 5 accounts.
Every now and then you see it's like someone contradicting them and saying like, no, you're wrong. You're Sargon in disguise, aren't you?
It's true. I'm telling you, he has multiple anonymous accounts on 4chan and Poll, just everywhere. Well, that's the same thing, but he's everywhere.
You know the real surprise is that I am the only person on poll.
It's literally just millions of accounts just interacting with one another,
and I run them all. But seriously though, it does crack me up. This is why I actually don't like to be anonymous myself, is because like every time someone will send me like a 4chan person, oh, they're talking about you. I'm like, okay, I don't care. But they'll send it to me, and then like a bunch of people are like, oh, hello, Sargon, spotted you, and I'm just thinking, you are on some wacky witch hunt because you have no fucking idea who you're talking to. Sorry, you know that's.
Well, they've seen through you.
Who the fuck are you talking to?
They don't know. That's the thing. They have no fucking idea.
No, hold on, let me share my screen so I can show you this, because this is too damn funny.
Harmful just tweeted that out.
Hey, Monday Matt is in the chat as well.
Oh, you might have some input.
We're doing a live stream talking about this, making jokes about it, turning off those pesky ethics.
Like, does he have the heart and the soul to trash talk a tragedy? You know, like this is what I asked myself. Can you see Monday Matt saying that? Yeah, it looks like a feminist guy.
I think he's too normie, to be honest.
He definitely is too normie.
Jeff is doing a solo stream about this, and I think he's being a bit more somber than we are.
He's being very somber. I just
so you guys see my screen, right? Apparently, this is on YoGaf, and they're talking about outright Canadian who decides to go to Italy to throw flares at refugee boats in order to protect the white race, of course. And it's Lauren Southern. And then you see, it's funny, but not really, how all the popular internet fascists come from Gamergate. Mike Cernovich, Milo, Sargon, Ian Miles Chang. Off topic, Lawrence Southern is evil.
Well, it's true that we are all dyed-in-the-wool fascists.
Can I red pill NeoGaf really quick? I'd like to red pill NeoGaf. Laura Southern is Carl Benjamin.
No,
I don't think you actually know that.
Well, actually, I have a picture of that. I'm going to show it in a bit. There is a picture that would definitely confirm this.
It does. I know it for a fact. He's DM'd me.
Isn't Lauren Southern part Jewish or something and fled Denmark and her ancestors fled Denmark during the Nazi occupation?
Oh dear, I was not going to like this.
Oh my god, that would be.
Well, at least her ancestors fled Denmark during the Nazi occupation or something like that.
Can I just?
I think this is the picture with Sargon on the cut.
She made a video about the Italian boats. She made a video about it.
She made a video because it looked like she was like revolting against the Italian government or something.
She was basically doing what the police weren't doing against illegal action.
I think the Italian government was oppressing her in Canada. That's what happened.
I recommend you give a video a watch. She explains it.
I recommend not taking illegal action if you're in a foreign country.
I would also recommend that. Yeah.
She was taking. I think what she was doing was illegal, but it was against people doing illegal things, so it wasn't as bad as it seemed.
Okay, so
there's one more thing we have to say. You know that the SJWs are going to fucking spawn over the stream that we're having right now.
That's what I said. I don't care.
But I do just want to remind you guys that the stream started as making jokes about a tragedy, but then it's actually got worse because now we're just talking about random bullshit.
Yeah.
So does Monday Matt want to come on?
I told my Twitter audience that this was an info gathering stream.
Well, if
it is.
Monday Matt is going
for us to gather.
I have to say, if Monday Matt is going to come on, there are 5 people here already. So that's already too much for a stream. So I'm going to leave if Monday Matt comes on, so you have more room and the conversation.
No, I like it so far. You're not moral fagging about this issue, which is what I like. Sargon, however, is moral fagging. There's no tomorrow.
It's because we're getting close to the truth. That's what the problem with every one of you, including you, crowd. The problem is that we're getting too close to the truth. And the truth is that this is tied to Russia. This is.
Yeah, guns don't kill people, Russians kill people.
The question is,
exactly.
The question is, how much does the Russian government pay Sargon to moral fag on this stream? That's the question that I have.
I would tell you, but I have too much integrity. I will never keep my paycheck. I will never reveal the paycheck.
Man, let me tell you something funny as hell. Like, I don't talk this about on my channel, but like in Eastern Europe, there is so much hysteria over Russian hackers, like hacking building companies and whatnot. Like, it's become a new trend. And I'm honestly thinking that this is going to be used in order for the EU to have more control and regulations over the internet. Right?
Probably.
Yeah, because they're constantly on. It's like this building company. It's like, oh, they told their workers to stay home today because there's going to be another Russian attack tomorrow. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know?
How again is this related?
Well, actually, just a real quick point. I was going to say that actually my company sent out multiple emails, basically just telling everyone in the company to not open any emails because they've apparently been dodging attacks from that shit that just recently came up, that malware.
I know a bit more about this. It's ransomware, and I've encountered it before. Someone in my family got their computer fucked up. It basically runs through all your personal files, encrypts them, and replaces them with an encrypted version, and then tells you to open the onion router to get to a site that's on basically the dark web, and forces you to pay in bitcoins a ransom for your file key. There's no reason to believe that they would actually give you the key. So what's happened is, the way it happened to the person in my family was, they got an email from someone they knew whose account had been hacked. Their email account had been hacked, and they sent through a zip file with a JavaScript file inside. Windows can run JavaScript files, and then the JavaScript can do all kinds of things. It downloaded a bunch of code from online to run the virus on the machine. It downloaded the code so it wouldn't be picked up by a virus scanner, encrypted all the files. So all that's happened with the NHS and with these other companies, I suspect, but I don't know, is that some intern has opened an email with the JS in it and thought, oh, that's brilliant. Let's open this file for no reason. And then encrypted all the files, and there's no backups, there's no security, no firewalls, nothing. And then it's been spread automatically to a bunch of other companies who have done the same thing, because none of these companies have decent security, as far as I can tell. People just need to be more fucking careful with what they click on.
Apparently, neither one of the skeptic feminist girlfriends didn't have security.
She downloaded the wrong file, and that was
dark, man.
What's funny is that malware comes from the CIA. That's been the connection, is that it's been material taken from the CIA because they compiled all of it.
They have records of everything, yeah. But it's funny that the security software is already can already defend against this. I saw a video of something called Komodo Firewall, which I don't know if it's the only one that can do it, but someone ran the latest version of the virus, the one that's currently going around, with this firewall up, and it just did nothing. So it's not like having security software is ineffective. People just don't use it. People just have shit security.
Yeah.
Can anyone find me the story with the skeptic feminist crowdfunding? Like anyone that could tweet it out to me would be really good.
No. I'm not going to dig further in this stuff. I think I'm actually going to drop out of this hangout. I have other stuff to work on anyway. In a certain way, it's dawning on me that I'm actually just making jokes about something like this.
But it's such a good quality hangout crowd.
Yeah.
What exactly are we supposed to make jokes about? Like, tell me other things. Like, it's funny because not the joke itself, which is horrible, but it's funny to see how people react.
Continue going on male feminists who are convicted sex offenders. I could pull up a few articles. And
definitely.
Yeah, what about that guy that Hannibal, whatever? You went back and forth with that guy forever until he was convicted as a pedophile.
Well, no, yeah. Well,
there's also something.
You have to understand. Like, feminists argue for the rights of women, not the rights of children. So there's absolutely nothing.
There's also something else. Something that wasn't in my video yesterday. You remember what I presented? The fact that one of them hacked an email account and used that email account to get the docs of someone, create an impersonating account, framing someone as a rapist and a sex offender, and then blackmailing that person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you got all of that out of it. Okay. The Gmail account that was hacked, that person to whom that Gmail account belonged had private conversations with someone called Exiled. Exiled is an old atheist YouTuber. She has been around for 8 years, been around with the Justica types and so forth forever. And here's something interesting. Kevin Logan published the private messages that were sent from the hacked account to Exiled. I'm really, really interested how Kevin Logan got those messages.
You should have included that into your video.
Yeah, I only found out about it today because Exiled contacted me and told me that has happened. So Kevin Logan, either these private messages that were gotten from a hacked account, either the SJW community just shared them amongst themselves, or Kevin Logan was involved in this.
You could always do like a really quick Bearing style video where you just
update. No, I'm already working on something else anyway.
All right,
but maybe I'll do it. Who knows?
Yeah.
The funny thing is that the video where he made a response video to me, and I reminded him of that in the comment section. And soon after posting that comment, the video got flagged off YouTube. So that's also really interesting.
Did you see what the social justice community had to say in regards to your video?
Ignoring the blackmail and the extortion and everything.
And then it said like, oh, so you're saying all of them are guilty. Like all of the SJWs are guilty. Like, yeah, if you're not going to at least, talk about it and what's inside your community, then yeah, I think you're forming ranks. And I do think I'm not going to engage with you, and it's my choice who I want to engage with. I don't think you should go to jail, obviously. I don't think something bad should happen.
Well, no,
to you.
I think the guy who did the blackmail and extortion should go to jail.
Yeah.
Well, obviously him, but I got his friends shouldn't.
That guy.
Yeah, there are. I mean, the clear depiction in the video that I took away the takeaway rather in that video by Kraut is that we are the side.
Oh, someone just posted in the chat, Deadpool will delete your account in real life.
Anyways, the takeaway from your video, Kraut, that I had is that, the actions that we see on the other side, and this is very much true from what I've seen, we wouldn't tolerate this in any way. I mean, how much criticism has Armored Skeptic and Atheism is Unstoppable? How much criticism have they gotten? How much pushback have they gotten?
I just mirrored Kevin Logan's video after it got flagged off YouTube, and also I contacted YouTube support to reinstate his video to take away the flag. And more importantly, I asked YouTube support to specifically tell me who false flagged it. I think YouTube support should make it public when somebody false flags someone. I want to know who false flagged it. I want to make public which account false flagged his video.
Yeah, I do hate false flagging. I hate flagging in general, actually. I really don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was something like legitimately illegal in it, then fine.
But even then, I think you should call the cops. Like, if you take the video down, it's
Well, no, because there's legal reasons to take the video down. It's just way easier for you.
The thing is that the problem is that the rules that they have are so broad to what actually can be flagged that if you do a video, and I tried to explain this to another YouTuber recently, and they refused to listen to me, that when it comes to the bullying harassment guidelines on YouTube, all you have to do is say somebody's name. And I don't mean like doxing them. I mean the name of their channel. All you have to do is do that, and that's grounds for flagging for you bullying, targeting someone.
Really?
Yes. I've had it happen to me. It's like any video that you do where you basically showcase another person's video and you talk about them and you mention them by name, that's grounds for you being a bully or a harasser, according to YouTube's guidelines. And they enforce it. You just luck out if you don't have some cocksucker come along and flag it.
Yeah, well, the question is, like, is YouTube a platform to actually have discussions about these things, or is it just to show videos of kittens and puppies,
Well, that's up to them. That's up to them what they want to do about this. I mean, the whole canard of ad-friendly content is just a joke.
Bullshit. I love how YouTube's making, well, not making stats cash, but everything's running along as it was, and everyone was happy. And suddenly, oh no, everything has to change. No, it doesn't. Everything was fine.
I'm gonna drop out and work on my video. Okay. Thanks for this chat. V, I hope you fucking monetize this and make some shekels from it. I'll talk to you guys later, hopefully. See you later, man.
Can you show us some of the feminists doing what was it, pedophilia and rape and other things?
I don't think we can show it, but we can get some reports up.
I'm sure there's an article out there of somebody covering it.
Can we do some guilt by association while we're at it?
Yeah, okay, hang on.
Well, the thing, it isn't guilt by association. It's just noticing a trend, and a trend that is there.
No, you know what?
On the other side,
they're the first to point out that all people in the alt-right hate the Jews.
You want to put it up on the screen?
They will listen. They will say that all people in the alt-right hate the Jews. All people in the alt-right are racist. All people in the alt-right are misogynist and blah blah blah.
All male
but when they have like
I like the way this is going.
Yeah, and that's you open the door for discussion for other people to say, well, feminists are rapists, and they have something against women.
Yeah, this isn't even a complete list. This is nowhere even near a complete list.
Google, I guess. That was just the one I
Yeah,
saw.
I'll click on your.
Yeah, one of the
Oh,
more
I am the
interesting
one.
ones is the California congressman. I think it's Lee. He was actually like front and center for the whole attempt to censor games and to regulate them and using the federal government. He was front and center for all of that.
Can you share the link, please, Uzalo,
It's in the
To
chat.
what?
to what Sargon posted
in the chat.
It's in the chat.
Yeah,
Did
can
want me
you
to
share
paste
the
it
screen
there again? Oh, do you want me to
No,
share
no,
the
to
screen?
share the screens with it. Yeah, yeah.
No.
Because
I'm
I
not
have
sure
a lot
that's
of
my
things
job,
open
but
at
all
one
right.
time. Actually. Well, if you don't want to, I'll do it.
It's fine. I'm fucking with you. There we go. Men who accuse Gamergate of misogyny. Where are they now? In jail.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I don't know. I don't think that Kirstein guy or whatever. I don't think he's in jail.
Who? I don't think he's mentioned on it.
The fucking faggot manlet that's on there.
We've got Matt Hickey, Devin Ferrasi, Robert Marmolejo, Jamie
There you go,
Kilstein.
Jamie Kilstein.
Okay. Juan M. Thompson and Leyden Yee.
Oh, that one M. Thompson one's hilarious. He's the dude who used to work for fucking Wall Street Journal or something. And he vandalized a bunch of Jewish tombstones.
Oh, he worked for The Intercept too. Until he got fired because
that was
he was
the
making up
Intercept.
stories.
Sorry, yeah, that was the one I was thinking of.
Thompson was arrested by the FBI in March 2017 for allegedly making bomb threats against at least 8 Jewish community centers in the US, according to officials. Thompson phoned in and emailed many of the threats under his ex-girlfriend's name within the preceding 2 months in an effort to frame her. Thompson, who allegedly
that guy's a
made
fucking lunatic.
at least one threat under his own name, under the pretense that his ex-girlfriend was framing him. He had also emailed the Anti-Defamation League in his own name in late February, pointing to his ex-girlfriend as the perpetrator of all of the bomb threats. Great. Well, what outstanding member of society.
Well, he is a feminist, so you can't you can't really judge him, as it were.
Yeah. What's more important?
Exactly.
Is that the Society of Professional Journalists, right? When they had to talk about Gamergate, they got 10 bomb threats. Coming from the other side. And it's like, okay, so all the important journalists were there and no one reported on it. No one even oh, well, whatever.
Only the Society of Professional Journalists getting bomb threats for you.
I got to say that I think we need to actually focus on the epidemic of hijab pulling. I'm pretty sure that takes a little bit more precedence than that.
I think actually what's more important is how many scoops Donald Trump has.
Yeah, that's true. 2 scoops too many.
Oh god, that was honestly Time Magazine and the Wall Street Journal and fucking the
CNN.
Times. Yeah, but these are publications that people respect, and it's just like, what are you fucking doing?
Not anymore.
Yeah, I mean, again, just not anymore. I mean, I have I want to do a video about this, but one of the things that Pew did was they did this whole fucking gathering based on all this different research where they talk about the toxicity of the internet and what can be done about it. And it's just everything that you expect. It's just what is the issue? People are saying things that we don't like and we can't control. So what's the answer? Censorship. And it's just these people are at this point are just predictable. They're just so predictable.
Well, they don't have any other answers, do they? That's the thing.
No, and the thing is, if you look at these different outlets at this point, it's just a clear litmus test of who's who. If you use certain words, if you use certain arguments, you're not coming up with anything original. You're just repeating someone else's talking points. Yeah. And in the end, it's just to suit your own political agenda.
Yeah.
And honestly, what I find interesting, right, is that many feminists and even other people, they would say, oh my God, Sargon of Akkad sent his troll army on me, or this person who watches Sargon of Akkad sent me a death threat, right? And then they completely ignored the person. They don't even want to know who the person is, right? They don't even care. And they just start attacking Sargon. It's because, he says something that mind controls people, and they completely take away the responsibility of the individual. People who watch Sargon are hypnotized, like Mowgli by the snake god. And they just have to, just send death threats and commit criminal activity.
It's actually pretty amazing with these people as well, because the report that I just mentioned, that's from Pew, and I guess let me pull up the link and I'll just post it so you know what I'm talking about. It's amazing with these people because if you actually go through what the recommendations are, they're all anonymous. The people that are on the social justice side, with a few exceptions, they're all anonymous. They all do it intentionally because they don't want their names out there to know that they're in favor of censorship. Or AI bots and the things that Harmful talks about all the time, the filtering. These people are all anonymous and believe in earnest that anonymity is the issue, that what needs to happen is that I need to put my name out there. That's the issue. They can be anonymous. That's fine with them. But the issue is that I'm anonymous. I use a pseudonym so people don't know. That's the issue. And I think that 90% of this is them trying to find the means, the tactics to harm their political opponents. That's what I think that most of this is. They don't really care about toxicity and blah, 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 blah. It's just about how can we either garner more power on our own end in a community or online or in a business or in an industry, wherever, and how can we disarm and minimize our political opposition. You know, when they talk about power politics, that's what they're engaging in 99% of the time.
Who, SJWs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just mentioned that I did a quick scientific poll in the chat here. I asked people to press 1 if they think it's not too soon to make the skeptic feminist murder memes. And I have to say, the ones have it.
What?
It is apparently not too soon.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is, the thing I want of chat, and this is going to be my only demand of chat, and I've asked this recently for a few things, including my my fleece jacket the other day that I'm going to have to get repaired, and it's going to be a miracle if I can actually get it repaired. Probably be around $22. But I need chat right now to press F to pay respects for the fallen. I demand that of them. If this is going to be a serious stream, okay, if we're going to be somber and respectful, I need everyone right now to press F to pay respects.
Otherwise,
someone
you hate
die.
everyone.
Jesus Christ, look at the ones in the chat now.
So I want to share a screen with you guys to show you how some people who are totally not SJWs are behaving. And this is after Kraut released this video with attacking SJWs, right?
Go on.
So can you see the screen? Oh, hold on. You probably can't.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
No, I made Uzulu be the default screen share. Okay. So we have Sterkor Dominus. So people praise Go Green for coming to our side, but when Spinosaurus wants to build bridges, he's an infidel. Why the double standard? I don't understand why you tagged me with this guilt by association is a terrible reason.
You associate with guilty people. You are fucking guilty. What more do you want?
So
You're guilty of associating with these shitbags.
I replied to him, so you defend them. You're one of them, aren't you, you sick, twisted fuck?
Actually, I've got a bigger problem. I'm playing Ark Survival Evolved, and I was on a little green frog that was only like level 8, and I'd called him Common Pepe, and he just got killed. And now I'm miles away from my base and have to walk back. So I would like you all to press F to pay respects there, please.
Yeah, because we clearly needed more Fs in the chat.
Well, I'm sorry, but this is a genuine loss. Okay, I needed that frog. He was important.
I respond to this guy. Okay, so I told him.
Killed him.
Sargon, this is serious, right?
Yeah, I am being serious. Now I'm stuck. I am in the middle of fucking nowhere, mate.
Look, compare it. A murder in real life involving a YouTuber or the death of Pepe in a video game. Come on.
Exactly.
Which one's more important?
Exactly.
I think we know the answer.
Get your priorities straight, V.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's about Spino here, so this is more important, right?
That's not.
You know, why do Spino and people like him call out the horrible oppression of Pepe's in video games? These are the real issues. They should be making videos about my pet issues. Come on.
Yes. God damn it, V.
But anyway, I replied to Sterkor Dominus. So you defend them. That means you're one of them, aren't you, you sick, twisted fuck? And at this point, they're bewildered if I'm serious or not, right? Yeah. And finally, we have R the Open House. You know, the RoboCop guy. When you hate them so much, you sound just like them. And I replied to him, before I die, I will become a social justice activist, so that when I pass away, there will be one less SJW in the world.
Jeez.
Oh dear.
I will tell him, like, if he contacts me again, I will say, go back to Total Biscuit asshole, you cancerous fuck.
That's harsh.
You're really going heavy on that TV's asshole meme, aren't you?
Like I said, these people don't offer anything. All they do is sit around and stew. They literally offer no material
all they
to
do
work
is sit on a
on.
moral fag. That's all they do.
Well, they don't even talk about any issues. They just talk about drama bullshit. So it's like there's nothing to be gained here. At least with Lacey, and I don't trust her. I'll say that right up front. And I don't trust Lacey.
I trust her. I trust her. I don't
good
know
for
why
you.
you don't trust her.
Because
Louis, I know that you might not reflect on your channel, but do you know where the clicks are? Sorry, that was a double burn.
That's why I don't trust her. I think this is about the money.
Yeah, well, but I trust her to be about the money.
But in any case, it's good either way. I've seen people say that it's good either way.
Yeah, it is.
Harmful has started with the memes.
Yeah, he's been going for a little while now. There's been a few featured already. Did you see this meme about Good Night Alt-Right? I actually retweeted this. This is pretty funny.
Go on, Chef.
Put it in the chat.
Someone share it. I'm basically doing Robinson Crusoe at the moment. So
Yeah, I saw this.
See,
I saw the earlier version before the ring around it was added. I'll share it.
Some of you advertisers don't come to YouTube tomorrow. And it has like the skeptic feminist face on.
Well spotted, V.
Yeah, that meme is pretty fucking good.
Well, I mean,
Apparently, Karen Strawn just provided an update. The victim was apparently the tenant renting the unit. We can't say for sure that it was one of his 2 GFs.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, it's bad either way because somebody's fucking.
Yeah, of course. But I like his GFs. I'm happy.
But that makes it a little bit like it adds just more questions. Then it's like, okay, if the guy wigged out and murdered a friend, it would make a little bit more sense because that happens a lot. Most domestics are between people that know each other.
So you're saying he's murdering wrong? Like is this what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying it doesn't
make a perfect victim, Louis.
It makes less
Louis,
sense.
one more second, and you're going to become an alt-right. You're going to go next to the murder, and go like, the statistics. Look what the statistics say.
What I'm saying is that it doesn't make sense for this guy to just murder apparently a stranger. But I mean, that thing has happened before. Like I remember that one atheist who murdered, I think, 2 people in a parking lot over a parking space.
Yeah, we don't know anything about the situation. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, so go to the truck of peace, stop the truck of peace, and go like, the statistics don't add up. Why are you running over strangers? No, sorry, I know I shouldn't pick on you, but it's like I've been dealing with people who just look at statistics and they try to interpret life based on statistics, and like when you try to apply statistics to the individual, you usually end up looking like an idiot.
Yeah.
Did anyone share that meme that I put out there? I want that shared because it's important. It's going to be important for the future.
What, the Good Night Alt-Right one? Yeah, I did.
Yes.
This is going to save the future of the white race, isn't it?
No, it's going. Well, it depends on which perspective. If you're alt-right, then you would disagree. But if you're an SJW, then you would.
Do you know what I would sell my left kidney for? A discussion between Karen Strawn and Lacey Green.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a lot of money.
Yeah,
that is priceless.
Because you're Eastern European. Yeah.
That is priceless. Hey, Karen, do you want to come on? If you want to come on, Karen, just
so you don't want anyone else
on the Twitter.
Karen.
But no, honestly, like, can you imagine a discussion between Karen Strawn and Lacey Green?
I hope she chooses someone who's prepared to challenge her views properly, and Karen would.
Well, don't you think Karen would do that?
Yeah, no, absolutely, she would. I don't really mind who it is as long as that she's not going to get off easy.
What I'm really surprised about Karen, from what I understand, she doesn't have a university degree, right? But she's smarter than a lot of people who do have a university degree.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this as a person who did 2 universities.
Do you know who else probably isn't going to get off easy?
Who?
Russian
The
Deadpool.
Russian guy.
Oh. Russian Deadpool.
I think if you wanted to end the stream now, that'd probably be appropriate. I think it's time to kill it.
Well, I just invited Karen, so I don't want to kill it just yet.
Oh, I see.
There's people calling for Sargon to debate Lacey.
I would happily debate Lacey.
I'm pretty sure that's going to happen
noticed
sooner
that
or later.
Of all of the anti-SJWs she's spoken to, she's not come near me.
Mm.
She'll eventually smell those views, so don't worry.
She'll
come around.
I don't know. I can't tell you guys any details, but I tell you what, there has been some funny stuff going on in the background.
What do you mean?
I can't tell you any details, Louis.
Is that
Okay.
because we're on stream or because we're not you?
No. In the background of like YouTube drama, I guess, between the SJW and anti-SJW community. Honestly, I think that I honestly think that a lot of them, not necessarily Lacey, but the ones that are angry at Lacey, I think they may be trying to do something.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can't tell you anything because I don't want to. I don't have enough information yet, but like,
Can you whisper it in my ear, big boy? Can you just whisper it?
well, the thing is, I don't have any real information.
Just whisper the fake
Suspicious
information you have.
actions is all I can say, and so yeah, I find it very interesting. I think that they are. I think they're attempting to stop us. I think that they see that which way the wind is blowing, and I think that I think this is all a stratagem for some of them.
Well, their attempts
What,
to
to
stop
get
us in the
basically
past have gone really well, so I guess we can expect.
Yeah, I know. That's the great thing about it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm.
What, like get Lacey to infiltrate us, or what's the strategy?
No. Look, this whole infiltration thing is nonsense. It's like, what are they going to do? Come in and go, hey guys, actually, I think that maybe black people are oppressed by white people. I mean, no one can fucking accept that, you know? Like, it's so dumb. It's like, no, we're not suddenly like, yeah, you know what? The white supremacist capitalist patriarchy is awful. Maybe we should overthrow it.
See, Sargon, that's what you say now, but can you say the same if your face was between her tits?
Yes, I could say Lacey.
No, you can't. You liar. You liar. Well, I know you have to say it now because it's on camera, but when the camera is off...
I don't think V is very dominant in relationships.
I don't think he is either. Jesus.
No.
I'm not worried about that. But no,
but not quite as dominant as the skeptic feminist, though.
It's not the
Oh,
worry.
Jesus.
No, seriously, listen, right? It's not the worry is not infiltration. The worry I would have is people like attempting to set each other against each other. You know,
I guess that. I mean, that's been attempted. I would say before.
yeah, absolutely.
You've seen a little bit of that
people
before.
exploring it and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think they'll try it as well. And I have a funny feeling that the little like anti-SJW warriors, they've kind of inoculated us against this. I think.
Yeah, I would say so as well. But I want to say, can I praise the shooter really quick? Can I just say that at least he didn't take any shit? Is it too soon to say that?
He wasn't a cuck, yeah.
Yeah, he's the new alt-right poster boy, Elliot Rogers.
Yes.
That'll be on his tombstone.
Alt-right.
No,
At least that was alt-right.
At least he wasn't a cuck.
That's correct.
So people in the chat are saying Lacey Green versus Tommy Robinson. I would pay some money for that.
I don't even know what they debate.
Yeah, that's the thing. That would actually be awful because they don't know what each other's subject is.
No, but they can come into a fresh face.
I like Tommy Robinson, but what does he know about intersectionality?
Well, it's not necessarily about that. I assume that Lacey has the same perspective on Islam that most feminists.
Let me see if I know about intersectionality. Right?
Wow, you'd be surprised. I think that she might actually be more open-minded about it.
You know what would be a great one? It would be Tommy Robinson versus someone, say, like either Cenk Uygur or Kyle Kalinske on Islam. That would be a fucking amazing.
Cenk Uygur versus Tommy
Cenk would be amazing.
That would be
Tommy
amazing.
could just sit there
Isn't
rolling
it
out
intersectionality, Sargon? Like the thing where everything is connected. Like you can't be just racist. You also need to be homophobic, and you also need to be misogynistic. And
Well, no, that's tied together. It's not necessarily that you're all those things. It's just that
I
those.
like the way you phrase it as you need to be, though. Well done. Yes.
That's what I see. Like, there was this case of a white man who went into a black church and shot a bunch of niggers, right? And that's racist. That's clearly racist. But then they had to make him misogynist as well in the newspaper and say, yeah, but he shot more women than men. So clearly,
that's the important thing.
God, these people are so amusing. If it
There's
wasn't
there's people in the chat calling on Sargon to debate Johnny Fox.
Who's Johnny Fox?
Johnny Fox
No,
is a meme.
unfortunately, right, there are certain people who are such desperate attention seekers. I have a policy of trolling them by non-interaction, and Johnny Fox is
that guy's like King
Sounds
Nat
about right.
from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Are you giving him the Varila treatment?
Yeah, it's funny. I know it once.
Well, there is something I would say, but we're on the air, so I'm going to save it till we're off.
Okay.
Go on, V, be brave.
No.
Don't be a cock, V.
I will cock. I have cocked. Do you know what else is cocked? The gun before before the skeptic feminist shot the bitch.
Christ.
Keep them coming, folks. It's not going to get any better. The bar isn't getting any higher
Honestly,
today.
I am so sick and tired. Like, okay, who are we hurting by making jokes? But what if,
probably just the guy, just the shooter.
Listen. What if a
He's got his
relative of
phone
the
in
victim?
jail and he's listening to the
No,
stream.
Yeah, well, he's listening to this stream right now.
No, but listen. What if a relative of the victim actually finds the stream and watches it, and she's going to be horrified by the jokes that we're making? That's why we need to censor this.
Well, that's why I'm anonymous, so I don't fucking care. I'm not paying for your funeral. Sorry. Sue the guy that shot her, not me.
Yeah, I love the way they'd be moral fagging over us and not him. These murdered a woman.
They always... Why are you stealing my word, moral fagging?
Because it's true. It's not even like a legit moral concern. It's just it's just being a dick.
It's just one-upsmanship.
Yeah,
that's all
exactly,
it is.
Yeah.
People usually call it like concern.
Monday Man is joined late.
What's up?
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Monday Man.
We were just talking about how the shooter in this case, one of the positives is that he's not a cuck, and that's demonstrable. I'd like to hear your opinion on that.
You're going to have to quickly reinform me. Are we talking about Russian Deadpool here? Or
Yeah, Russian Deadpool is not
okay.
a cuck, and that is
I
confirmed.
woke up and I'm not fully informed on the situation, so...
Well, it turns out he's a suspect. Yeah.
I read something that he killed somebody and that he's in jail. That's all I've read so far.
Yeah. He definitely triggered someone. He had a woman dead to rights.
Was he wearing the jumpsuit though? Was he wearing that tracksuit?
We
That's what I
don't
want to
know.
know. I want to know, was it covered in blood when he got arrested? And he's like, hold on, I got a fresh one in the trunk of my car.
Are we now
But,
going to trial
the
all our terrible
information we have
jokes?
so
on
far
Monday?
is fairly speculative, but it seems to have been one of his girlfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't
people
know,
say either the girlfriends or one of the landlord. Like, there's no information. This is why I said it's a tabloid. Like, we're just speculating.
It would make sense if it's one of his girlfriends. That seems like the typical male feminist approach.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Yeah, but then again, if it's the landlord, it would make sense because that
Not
he's
a landlord,
taking
it's
it out on the
tenants.
bourgeois. No, he's
Another
taking it out on the
tenant.
bourgeois. Yeah.
I guess
Another
if he
tenant.
is taking it on the landlord, he's fighting against capitalism. So maybe there's that.
If the landlord was a male, then you could say he's fighting the patriarchy. But I don't think
No.
it is, right? It's a woman.
No, it was a woman. That's what
It's a
I
woman.
said.
That just
Well, if
even
it's
makes
a
it
woman,
more
how
funnier.
How
I
dare she
guess.
have access? Well, how dare she have access to the means of production? You know, how dare she dare?
I just found something about the case. Someone's pointed to the fact that in a video of his, he has a scar on his forehead, but in the police photo, he doesn't have one. And there's also some marking on one of his cheeks, but in the old video, it's not there. Conspiracy. Dun dun dun.
No, it has his name. I've seen people connect the name.
is
It's
his
the
name.
same guy and same
Same
name.
guy, same name.
It's
what
what
people
people
don't
probably wear
understand.
makeup. I mean, they will
But
get
here,
it all the time.
no. Here's the thing that most people don't understand, right? In the newspaper, it doesn't have to be the actual photo of him, you know, at the police.
Oh, okay. So
It
could've been
can
like a
be like an
multiple
earlier
photos.
photo, and this is what a lot of journalists do, right? They just try to Google shit before they actually put the photo. So it could be that.
Gotcha.
Either that or he went back in time.
Let's say that all of this is wrong. That actually he didn't do anything. He's been a good boy,
I'll
and this is
apologize.
all
I'll take
false.
this video down. Yeah.
No, keep it up. Who cares?
Well, no. If it's an innocent man, then I don't want him to be
Oh, okay.
understanding.
Fair enough. Fair
But
enough.
let's be realistic here. Standards, Lewis. I know you Americans don't really have them, but here in Eastern Europe, we actually care about this shit.
Let me tell you about Eastern European standards, Louis.
Yeah, and making money when that is something he brags about as being like an unethical money grubber.
Something
But
like that.
see, I am honest with people. Like, this is my only quality. I don't have many, but being honest is one of them.
Allegedly.
I wasn't aware gypsies could
Allegedly.
be honest. Just thought
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
Well, I'm honest that I'm going to steal from you. Why don't you understand? It's your fault if you don't guard your property.
Are you there?
Oh, by the way, Monday, just off topic now. What do you think about the Alien Covenant?
I haven't seen it yet. It doesn't come out here for like 4 more days. Yeah, see,
that's
I know
such a shame.
us Americans, we create these films, but they want to release them everywhere first because of piracy problems. So, I have to just then pirate a copy of it, which then prevents me from going to see it in the theater. It's just.
So let me get
circle of
this
life.
straight: Russian people who kill women get to see your movies first.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Like happens like Guardians of the Galaxy open up like 10 days early in other countries. So
I know, like it's running right now.
and then there was like a decent like HD cam of it that popped up like right before and people were already watching it and whatever.
To be fair, right? To be fair, Sargon got to see Alien Covenant a day before I did, and I thought it's a travesty.
I can agree.
Good. I mean,
I
why do
can
British
agree that
people?
It's a travesty for you as well.
Yeah, why do British people get to see things earlier than Romanians?
I keep telling you, we're just a better class of person. Ask
That's
Usually.
exactly what I was about to say. We know it. It's obvious.
You
He
know
doesn't
what?
know it because we're a better class of person.
You can be a better class of person, and this is what my theory is, right? When you have only butterfaced women over there, you are going to invest more time in actually doing things rather than having sex.
On
And
our
this is
last
why
stream,
Eastern Europe is bad.
We got an
proved to us
update.
that you don't care about the face. You just look at the tits. You
We
proved
got
that
an
to us.
update.
Go on.
Yeah.
Four minutes ago, apparently, someone from the Skeptic Feminist YouTube or Twitter account updated it and said, "Okay, folks, Harley here. I'm asking, trying to be nice. Yes, things are bad, but it's our business. We'll keep you informed as we feel necessary."
Harley's not dead then.
Yeah, well, the Harley's the one that's at least not dead. So
Okay, Harley is alive, confirmed. There should be like an application on Facebook where there's like a hurricane in America or some shit like that, and people like can have the application and say they survived it.
That literally does exist. That actually does.
Yeah, I know.
exist.
No, I know. There were like an application for what was it? The Nice attacks, and it's like I survived Nice, and I used the application and I said I survived it, and a lot of Romanians did as well. And I was so happy. It's like, yes, all of us survived it. You truck of peace, you can't get to us. Yes,
They missed by a few hundred miles.
they missed.
I wish the person would just update to say whether I'm alive, my friend's alive. Like, can't they just say like who's fucking alive?
Well, if Harley's alive, then the other one is probably the dead one.
Well, we don't
Well,
know.
the
if
question
one
is,
of the
we don't know
girlfriends
that,
was
though.
Killed.
Yeah, but it sounds kind of like
No,
Yeah.
I think it's not. No, hold on. I think it's not the other one because she said we will update you.
Yeah, we could be anyone.
Yeah,
though.
we'll
they
update.
always,
Yeah.
they always use the term "we," don't they?
I think it was
Active or
wasn't the issue with the family of one of them? Wasn't that Harley?
Yeah.
I don't
What do you
know.
think, Monday, Matt, about this? What's your take on it?
Just before you go, I'm gonna have to fuck off, you guys. Thanks for the stream. I'll see you guys later.
Later.
Later on, man.
Huh.
I know of this person. I've seen 1 or 2 of their videos. I'm not entirely up to speed on who or what they are.
Right.
So I
So
just, I've seen some videos. I remember, I'm looking at the Twitter feed right now. It's just I don't know. I mean,
We're not missing anything. If that's what
I know.
So you're
Yeah, that's one of the
you're
reasons
doing
why. Like, I don't.
investigation right now, is it?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't pay attention to a lot of these people because I think they're fucking stupid and not worth my time. But this is interesting.
Also, that they have literally nothing interesting to say.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the best way to go about it is that. But I guess you just have to go back through a bunch of their old videos and maybe see if there's any indication.
Well, there was the thing where Harley apparently, and I said this earlier, she went to see her parents, and her parents wouldn't let her to go back to the wonderful threesome thing they were having. And apparently, the skeptic feminist, the man, was gathering money through a crowdfunding so he can have bus tickets to go and rescue Harley from her parents. And he also said that Harley has mental issues.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, the thing that's been shown so far is that at least two of them have mental issues, and it's not a very healthy relationship.
Now, what exactly is their relationship?
They're lovers.
Okay, can you hold 3 fingers in the left hand and 3 fingers in the right hand, and then intersect them, like, and pull them back a bit and intersect them back, like that's what's happening there.
Okay, so the 3 of them are engaged in a.
Yeah, it's
what is it? A polyamorous?
It's not like a traditional Muslim type of relationship where the woman puts the slippers at the room of the man in order to signal her desire. It's more like a harem type with the sultan, you know?
Okay.
I don't think this guy's that masculine, to be honest.
See, this is what people think, but
well, I guess we're all wrong. I guess he wasn't a cuck, so can't talk too much shit.
Well, apparently the gun cocked, as I said, so. He also liked weapons. And by the way, Monday Matt, this is a good opportunity to discuss about the need to regulate guns in America. See? Things like this wouldn't happen if guns were off the streets.
No, things like this wouldn't happen if we had better ways of preparing or, arguing or mental health care in this country. Also, don't give male feminists guns. I think we can all agree on that.
See, I think the reason that she died is because she didn't have a gun.
That sounds like Geraldo Rivera right there.
I think you could have shot the bullet out of the air, and guns are excellent defense weapons.
I think you read too much fiction.
No,
but I agree. The thing is, I agree with guns. I agree. People should have guns, or if they want them. I'm not like against guns at all. Like I just moved out to an area where my neighbor is a 19-year-old kid who likes to systematically discharge a 22. And like I'll wake up and I'll start hearing gunshots, and I'm like, I lived in Los Angeles, in North Hollywood for a while. Crime was everywhere. Never heard gunshots. I'm here for a day. Gunshots. It's just.
You know what's interesting? It's like we have the same conversation in Europe about banning lorries because apparently a bad guy with a lorry kills people with the truck of peace, right? And the only way to stop a bad guy with the truck of peace is with a good guy with the truck of peace.
I'm the only one who found that fucking hilarious. Or what? That was great.
Yeah, so are we just gonna like hire roaming trucks of peace that are good guys?
Yeah, that's what you need.
It's like truck of peace depots and stations where you've got someone on call.
Well, I mean, their solution to that issue, from what I've seen, is just building cement pillars everywhere.
Fucking brilliant.
I'm not even joking. That's their solution. They've been doing it.
I think everyone should own a lorry, like for safety. For safety, everyone should own a lorry, and then there wouldn't be lorries driving over people.
Dude, you fucking say that, but then you're going to get Jeremy Corbyn on the fucking news going, well, we should have social lorries, and the government should provide everyone with a lorry.
Naturally.
Shut up, Jeremy. It's not for free. Christ, man.
We need state subsidies for trucks. What kind of trucks?
I love the fact how I'm making like people in the chat cringe, and I can understand why, right? Because every time there's a murder in the United States, people, instead of talking about the murder, they talk about the guns. Like every single time, no exception.
Hashtag not all trucks. I agree.
Hashtag not all guns. Yeah.
So you know what's going to happen if they subsidize all the trucks? Then you're going to get a company like Uber coming in saying we can provide you with automated trucks that will provide better security than your police.
Man, when the fuck is Google self-driving trucks going to be available? I
don't know.
That's going to be really bad for terrorism when that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Then they won't even need the terrorists. They'll just need a pilot.
Then they'll get hacked. Fucking hell. My Google self-driving truck was hacked by a terrorist.
Hopefully by then they have all the cement pillars up. They just have cement pillars everywhere.
You should tell Corbyn.
Germany, the land of bollards.
You know why Sargon is such a cock? He's basically telling Corbyn
the only way to stop a bad guy with a nuke is with a good guy with a nuke. And that's like the entire This Week in Stupid.
Yeah, but that is literally the only thing you can do. So, what the fuck do you want me to say about it?
Well, the thing about it is that like that kind of even the intellectual discussion of that, like that's so old and so basic that it's kind of like the reason why I found it at least entertaining enough was that it really is kind of depressing that you have this guy that's like, twice as old as I am or even more, likely more. How old is he? Isn't he his 60s or 70s?
60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, 3 times as old. It's just kind of amazing to me that somebody that old who lived through the Cold War can't actually understand that.
Yeah, but you have to understand, Jeremy Corbyn was rooting for the Russians. So.
Oh, okay.
But I don't understand about Jeremy Corbyn.
Joking, but I'm probably not joking. So that's probably literally true. When
that's the thing that you saw though when Russia actually was controlled by the revolutionaries.
When the IRA were bombing Britain, he was rooting for the IRA. Literally, he was arrested at a rally for a guy who murdered 5 people, and it's just like, why were you there, Corbyn?
Is he even Irish?
Here's the thing that I totally don't understand, and maybe you guys can clear it up. Right? He's anti-EU. No, sorry. He's pro-EU, right? he wants to be in the European Union, which is fine, right? But then he talks about nationalizing the utilities like water, electricity, and shit like that. And these are owned by German companies, some of them. Like, does he actually think that he can be in the EU and nationalize state resources?
Look, I'm just going to put it to you blunt. Jeremy Corbyn is a fucking moron, okay? He's just an idiot. It's not that he's a bad person or anything like that. He's just a moron. He just says things that are counter to like sense.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with a sort of government or a multi-nation government that has direct control over domestic politics would be that obviously if you pass any laws there and it interferes with a corporation overseas and you have this greater corrupt entity, they're just going to change your laws. It's pretty simple. But the fact that he doesn't get that is just kind of alarming, I would say.
Yeah, no, it's just so delusional. And as Sargon said it, like if you're a member of the Labour Party, the best thing to do is to just form your own party and then take the refugees from the Labour Party after they get decimated.
Well, the fact that he hasn't stepped down, I can't believe it. I can't believe that yet after another crippling loss and that they're leading up into another one. It's just amazing to me.
I can't believe people in his own party aren't making him step down.
Well, the thing is, like, the cult of personality, like, I get why they're not going to call for him to step down because they believe he's the chosen one. That's fine. But it's like him himself has to realize, at least at some level, at some point, that he is simply not capable of winning. He is not.
Yeah.
There's no one rallying around the party.
I think maybe he expects the bank will fail and the economy will fail, and then he can pick up the pieces.
And that'll bring him into power, and it's just waiting until then. But that's ridiculous, fatalistic, thinking.
Or either ridiculous. That, or get revolutionaries, like get people outraged and then start revolts.
I don't think he's that crazy. I haven't seen anything to say that he supports like violent revolution or anything like that.
He was at communist rallies, so.
Right, but there's virtue signaling to your fellow fucking communists, and then there's like has he followed the same line of punch a Nazi kind of shit? Because if he was doing a lot of that, then I'd understand. But if he isn't, then there's no evidence that he necessarily.
I don't think Antifa in Britain is actually violent.
I would have to imagine they are. I haven't seen.
You follow this? Is the Antifa in Britain any scary force? Oh, he muted himself. He's jerking off.
Yeah, too busy.
You would hear the.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the other thing is what was I going to say? There's all this. There's actually a lot going on right now with progressives. That's pretty interesting. That with the Young Turks, there's this real back and forth between like fringe progressives and more mainstream progressives. It's pretty curious to watch that go on.
Well, I remember watching Monday Mass Channel, and he would talk about representation, which is a progressive thing, like in Hollywood. And he was like, I can see the importance of having more people represented in the movies. And blah, 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 blah. I was like, no, why? Why are you doing Monday Mass? Why are you doing it?
Well, no, the thing is, I like stories to be told from different perspectives. I really don't give a shit when my thoughts there are a lot about like, okay, here's the thing. When it comes to Hollywood itself, behind the scenes, it's one of the most diverse places you'll ever fucking be. Right. But in front of the camera, it's generally not. And the reason why is because profitability, so it requires certain people who want to move up through the ranks of certain things to be to kind of like start off in like maybe small indie art house flicks, work their way up through there, kind of go through the independent film festival circuit and all that jazz. But when it comes to big blockbuster movies, I think we all can agree that in many cases they're lacking across the board, whether that is from just
I wouldn't agree
of talent. Because I mean, how many times do you see the same actors in the same movies? It's very
yeah. It's pretty much
that's
like
what I'm talking about. I want to see
corporative
different people come in. Like, and for me, different people. I don't care if it's another white dude, if it's another white chick. If they're good, they're good. I like meritocracy, but that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
So I'm not advocating for like we need to fill quotas. I hate the fact that the Academy wanted to fill the quota, do that particular thing for the Oscars, but I also like the fact that they opened it up.
The Oscars. I stopped watching the Oscars after that because now they lost their prestige. Because now it's like, this black guy won an award, and I'm like, okay, did he win it because he's a good actor, or is it because he's just black?
Well, I mean, it's like there was a big argument a couple of years ago when 12 Years a Slave won Best Picture. Some people thought that it was like white guilt that brought it to be Best Picture. I saw the movie when it came out. I really, really liked it. I thought it was a well done movie, except I had to chuckle when Brad Pitt showed up, and I'm like, oh, there's a Canadian Jesus, but that's that was
what film are we talking about here? I just got
12 Years a Slave.
As a whole and representation. Like one of the things that I hate, right, is that I actually watched Marvel's Luke Cage on Netflix, and it was a very good. I'm getting an echo. By the way,
are you making yourself echo?
No, it's not me. Someone is making me echo.
I have my mic muted, so it's not me.
Maybe it's Monday Man.
I have my mic.
Okay.
I have everything turned down, so there shouldn't be an echo at all.
Right now it's gone. But anyway, like when you watch Luke Cage, it's actually from the perspective of a black guy, and it tells like black people's problems, like the fatherlessness, high crime rates in black neighborhoods, and how people are drove to crime because of being in a poor family and they don't have a father, and they have like 5 or 6 siblings that are hungry. And you kind of get into how it's like you get a different culture, you get a different aspect of how it's like to be a black person. But when you watch a movie with a black person, like you're going to see The Tower, it's just like a white guy that's black. He behaves like like you don't really see the ghetto. You don't really see some of the black cultures that exist in the world. You just
because Roland of Gilead didn't live in a fucking ghetto, man.
But you know what I mean? It's like whenever you see a black guy, it's if they would make him act quote unquote like people in the ghettos, they would say, "Oh my God, that's a stereotype. That's horrible. That's racist." Blah 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 blah. So they don't really want a story said from the perspective of a black guy. They just want a story that has a black face.
Not necessarily, because then
people live in ghettos.
They could also contradict that and say that by making the black guy too white, that's not actually speaking to the actual experience of real black people. So there's always a contradiction.
Hold on. Before we go into that, I want to address Sargon. It's like you can have white people in the ghetto. I do think it was a really good movie, the one with Eminem.
Some black people live outside of ghettos.
Yeah, but every single movie, every single black person lives outside the ghetto, The one movie with Eminem, which he was living in the ghetto. I thought that was excellent. 8 Miles, or what was it called?
Right, okay.
And there was another movie with also white people in the ghetto that came out recently, The Darkness or something like that, with a blind man with three robbers wanted to rob a white man.
Like Don't Breathe?
Yeah, Don't Breathe. Yeah, I thought it's a really good movie.
I haven't seen it yet, but
yeah. But this is what I'm saying, like try to address some of the cultural things of if you're going to have like a color actor, like if you look at, for instance, The Strain on TV, they have this Mexican guy, and again, it's like a different culture. Like for me, it's interesting because I see something else. Like if you're going to put a different race as the star, at least make it something that I don't know about, that it seems foreign to me, so I can kind of understand where they're coming from, so I can kind of get into that type of culture. Because watching Luke Cage actually made me sympathize with black people more. It's like, well, if I would grow in such a place, I might turn out differently than I am.
Yeah, the first half of Luke Cage, I think, did a really good job at kind of talking about like the pitfalls of living in Harlem and everything else and in that community. But then the last half of that show kind of went to shit. But no, I get what you're saying, though. But here's the problem when it comes to that kind of, I guess you could say, character development and exposition in those cultures. When they have to sell it across the world, they have to simplify it. And that's just the truth. It's like, it's not that the people in those other countries can't comprehend. It's just some things don't translate very well. And so instead of actually trying to explain it or do a better job at that, they just simplify it. They make stupid, dumb jokes, stuff that anyone can laugh at without any real thought behind it. And that's what happens. And that's why we're seeing this real degradation in cinema, and why we're looking, just this year is going to be like the worst year for summer blockbusters. I mean, look at King Arthur, 14.7 million in just the US. It came out underneath an Amy Schumer movie. That should not happen.
Yeah, Amy Schumer shouldn't have movies.
I agree.
Look at this shit. Speaking about representation and black people. So it seems that Marvel cancels Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Lives Matter comic. And let's look at this comic for a bit, right? I'm not even joking. Like, this is the worst writing you'll ever see. So they talk about Harlem, and apparently the city hired a private police force that's made of robots, and they're called Americops, a mechanized private army deployed into the heart of Harlem. So let's see what our heroes have to face, right? The struggle is real. So they arrive to the in the park, and they're picking on these black people who didn't do nothing, and says, "Citizen, you are in violation of curfew. You will produce identification and submit yourself to arrest." Let's see about that. Here's my lie. "Citizen, put your weapon down." And then they fire upon the black people. And it's like, "Citizen, stop resisting, stop resisting, stop resisting."
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't actually think that this is equitable. I think that, honestly, when it comes to like this topic of diversity, like that right there is just the bomb in all of this. Because I actually, like, I don't mind the idea of, like, diversifying media or whatever, even if it's a conscious choice. Like, I was going to give an example of like having the first season of True Detective being in the South. I think it was in Louisiana, compared to season 2 of True Detective, which was in LA, which I thought was garbage. So, I honestly think that when it comes to more diverse settings, that it can actually be better and more interesting. But the problem is, at this point in time, is that you never know what's around the corner when it comes to this whole issue of diversity, because you might wind up with that kind of just straight up propaganda bullshit. And as you just showed, V, it doesn't. So when people talk about, well, we need to keep this, safe in terms of an investment, it makes sense. Because unfortunately,
honestly, I think Marvel is doing the opposite. They're definitely trying to kill like their business.
Yeah.
They're just like, I watched some of the comics recently.
Well, no, that's actually not fair. That's actually not fair, because if they were trying to kill their business, they wouldn't have canceled that fucking thing. That comic, they wouldn't have canceled it. They would have just
they constantly listen, they constantly pull out new issues, like new comics, and then they cancel them after like 4 or 5 issues, like constantly. And there was this one.
There's a reason, though. There's many reasons for that, actually.
Yeah.
One is that they've already said that they're going to pull away from social justice style stories or anything that's super political, in order to focus more on just telling
a hero story,
telling hero stories. And that's coming later this year. Right now, they're in the process of finishing up stuff that was already in production, runs that were already happening, and they are just killing a bunch of comics. They are just ending a bunch of them because they realize that they're not selling. At the same time,
I just wanted to drop in to tell you that Ivy is the one who apparently got killed.
Oh my god, that's
so what was the other one? How do you know?
I don't know which one is which one. It's on Twitter from the person informing everyone about this. But yeah.
Oh,
they posted that?
Any information as to why he did it?
No, as far as I know.
Well, he was with 2 girls. One would dress up as Harley Quinn, and the other as Poison Ivy. So I guess it's Poison Ivy.
Okay. Just wanted to share that with you, and now I'm going to drop out again.
Take it easy, man.
Take it easy. Turn off that pesky ad block.
Goddamn right, motherfucker. It doesn't matter right now
It's
anyway.
not
But
posted on their Twitter, so I'm not really sure where he got that from. I guess it's confirmed. I don't see it from their
Well, if
Twitter.
Harley was the one who tweeted,
Who
saying
posted it, yeah.
then
But anyway, I was reading this Marvel comic, right? And it's just like really mean-spirited. It was this thing that you would see the USSR post as propaganda. I'm not even kidding, right? So they were pretty much describing every rich person as being like utterly horrible and utterly disgusting. It even had like this shot where the rich person was running away and he had like money coming out of his pockets. And basically all the rich people were being disgustingly bad towards their servants. And basically like the hero was part of this Antifa movement. So they were glorifying Antifa. And it's like, why the fuck do you think your comics aren't selling?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, is that, you know, when it comes to the people at Marvel, I imagine at this point that they really don't understand what's going on.
Listen,
to put out this many comics.
I actually look at the writers on Marvel on Twitter, and they are some of the most arrogant motherfuckers you will ever lay eyes upon. And they talk down to fans, they insult fans, and listen, it's like, okay, you know, if you're in a bar and you have a disagreement with someone over a beer, that's fine. But they're like representative of a business. They're talking with their customers. You shouldn't be able to. I mean,
that's what I mean, though. Do you think that any business acting rationally would hire somebody like this when we're in such a political climate that, you know, if so, like, it's one of the reasons why when people ask me why I'm anonymous, this is why, because I don't want to lose my fucking job. You know, I'm on a stream making fun of a girl and a girl that just got murdered and a guy that killed her. You know, this is the kind of shit that, you know, public relations is so out of fucking whack at this point that someone could lose their job over making jokes like that. And
what do you think, Monday Matt? What do you think Marvel is doing so bad and DC is doing a lot better?
well, see, here's the thing: is Marvel has they've been really kind of mucking things up, so to speak. They've been trying new things, I think, on purpose to see what sticks and what doesn't. And you got to keep in mind that this particular push of the pro-social justice, pro-feminist tales are coming after a couple years of Anita Sarkeesian being treated as a deity amongst feminists. You know, like that kind of mentality
Not
where that
just
was
them.
growing. And they were looking to, you know, these are nerds that are feminists that are apparently catering to nerdy things. And so Marvel's trying to ride this wave, and they've realized now, oh wait, these people don't actually buy comics. We're actually hurting our reputation.
worse than that is that the people who do buy comics hate these people.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, obviously, like, do you go to a comic convention? It looks like you're in the Congo. There's like everywhere you look, there's like big signs saying "Do not rape, do not rape. This is a safe space."
No, they don't. I go to Comic-Con, the biggest event of this like this in the planet, and there are no signs, none.
Did you
whatsoever.
not? Well, maybe this year, but I can show you pictures, and you can tell me if they're not from Comic-Con. But they were
Well,
like,
no, the thing is,
cosplays,
because,
not
sorry,
from-
you have to understand. There is the San Diego Comic-Con, which is the Comic-Con. Anything else is just they don't own the name Comic-Con, so like New York Comic-Con is not connected to San Diego. All the other Comic-Cons are just kind of their own thing. And yes, like New York was the very first convention to pull up like you know, the consent stuff, cosplay is not consent signs, and none of that has ever leaked its way over to San Diego, because in San Diego, no one, like, for one, there's not problems with that, and two, every time someone has tried making a problem about that, no one ever fucking puts up with it. So they shut a lot of that stuff down. But
Okay,
additionally,
no, it's good you clarified it, because if I go on Google and I look, I mean, I see certain events. I don't know if it's apparently it's not the San Diego, but I see from other places where it looks like you're running into the Congo, you know. And if you go into our comics,
other places, but not at the biggest
This is
one.
going to surprise you, but they don't actually have "Don't Rape" signs in the Congo. They just rape.
okay, so maybe they need rape signs. Is that what you're saying?
Well, if you were going to put them anywhere, you know.
But like, here's the thing, right? I mean, I go to a lot of places where people talk about comics, like our comics, and you know, other places where people used to gather. And 2 years or 3 years ago, it was just about feminism and just about how horrible people who read comics are, how sexist, how misogynistic are. And of course, comic book fans are going to be enraged about the ideology that constantly calls them misogynist and racist.
Honestly, I think we should all just agree with them. To be like, yeah, you don't want to come here. We're fucking horrific misogynists. you just want to go somewhere else.
No, but the thing,
Yeah,
the only thing I'll say about the comic community is, unlike the gaming community, the comic community apparently laid down.
Of
They
course,
did.
No.
fucking almost everywhere laid down.
Well, DC seems to be a lot better. Like they just had like DC Rebirth, and then they went like, okay, we're bringing back all the white superheroes.
Well, that's
And-
the other thing.
I
That's
actually
not
have
the
a theory
community.
about this. I have a theory about this. I think that DC are actually more incompetent than Marvel, and that saved their brand
Why do you say that?
because they just weren't as good at intersectionality as Marvel were.
Yeah, I was going to say that DC right now is doing well in certain markets, like in video games, they're doing very well, but in movies, they're not doing well.
No, their movies suck balls. That's why.
I
And
disagree.
the comics, as far as I know, they're not doing well either in terms of sales. I've seen things that say that some comics are doing well from DC, but that Marvel overall is actually doing better than DC, despite all their shit.
Yeah, but I thought Marvel had always done better than DC.
I don't know. I don't follow comics. I'm just saying what I've heard.
No, they're-
You guys
Well,
don't
now
understand. It's not
DC is-
even about comics anymore. It's about merchandising,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
It's all about merchandising. Like that's what's keeping these companies afloat. Batman is like the number
Oh, yeah.
one merchandiser for Warner or for DC, right above Harley Quinn, which is why we're
Oh,
getting
yeah.
a Batman and Harley Quinn animated movie. I think like next month.
Yeah, I believe it.
Are we?
That seems to be how they act. They just follow the money on a lot of different things.
Well, look at the Cars franchise from Disney. Cars 2 only existed because Cars 1 made $1 billion in merchandising.
God,
Yeah.
fucking
That was the
I
only
believe
reason
it.
why. And then now we're on
Yeah, I
Cars
mean,
3, which
Look at Star Wars. That's 90% of what they're hawking at this point with Star Wars is just merchandise.
Well,
As a person who
this is
purchases lots of
something
Star Wars
interesting because
merchandise,
it's
I'm not
about
gonna
the video I just updated today about the anime industry making billions of dollars, especially through merchandise, and yet it's failing because the artists are-
I don't agree with you. I like.
Well, this is
the-
what
the- like,
artists,
Louis-
what animators are saying.
No, it's just a matter. Like, you can't take a like this industry that's doing extremely well, making billions, tens of billions of dollars, and go, yeah, it's failing. I mean, it's the same
Well, no,
bullshit as it
Well,
relates
yeah,
to.
but when you look at when you look at the fact that, for instance, Attack on Titan, which is like a huge blockbuster, right, only has 12 episodes, and it took 4 years to produce. And the people saying it's like, look, it's impossible for us to do more episodes. There's too much demand on our company. And the reason there's too much demand on their company is because they can't hire more animators because all the animator schools are shutting down. And people who do animation are moving in other places because they're being
Right,
paid.
and that's
the
because
proper
of those
time.
industries. They're not actually paying the people enough. But the thing is that eventually it's just going to occur that either the animators are going to unionize or strike or do something to that degree, or the industry itself is going to have to recognize that the only way that they're going to continue
Well,
this
yeah, but the
process of
anima-
making billions of dollars is by changing and paying these people.
The animators can just go to the United States or to China or to Korea, right? They don't have to stay there.
And what studios? What studios are in the United States? Where are they gonna like the
Video
market
gaming
and the companies are in Japan, regardless
Video gaming
of
companies
you know
or
what.
comic book companies. Like, here's the thing, right? Because by the time they realize there might be no more anime schools left, and they will have to hire new artists who draw like shit. And if you look at the Dragon Ball Super animations, they're worse than Dragon Ball Z. Because the old animators were actually really good at what they were doing, and the new animators are actually really bad. I mean, it's not
Again,
their fault
it
that
doesn't
they're bad.
matter.
It's the fact that they don't have experience. And I think it's something similar to what you see with Marvel, right? Most of their comic book artists have left. Like, most of the old comic book artists have left, and now we have like new comic book artists. And you can see that, like, it's not on the cover that you see how poor the quality is, but once you actually open a Marvel comic book, you see how horrible the drawings are.
But it's not equivalent because you're talking about an industry that is churning out billion-dollar hit movies that's doing poorly with comics. Who gives a
I'm just
fuck
talking
about the
like
comics?
No. I'm talking about what happens when you don't have like old writers. No, sorry, not old artists, in order to keep your brand name up. And you have to hire new people who never worked in the industry before because you're desperate because no one else is.
They're not desperate. They're making billions of dollars.
Well, they are, but they also say, like, if you read what the artists are saying, they say that the demand is too high.
The artists are complaining that they're not being paid enough and that they can't exist in the industry, and that is not the same as the industry itself making tens of billions of dollars.
Yeah, but the industry is also complaining that they can't hire new people because there aren't anyone left to hire.
It's just a matter of the hiring rate. They're just gonna have to pay people more. That's the difference. Because like I said, these studios are all in Japan. These animators are all in Japan, with some very few exceptions.
Yeah, I think there are some in South Korea as well. What do you think, Monday Matt? Do you watch anime? Do you like?
No, I'm not a filthy weeb. That's just no. I mean, I have nothing against anime. I just don't watch it. I think the last anime I saw was like Full Metal Alchemist. I watched that whole series. But yeah, I don't watch any of it, so I don't know. But I've heard complaints from people because I mean, again, Comic-Con, there's a lot of anime there. And you hear people talk about the artist side of things and how that's been dropping off. And I'm wondering how much anime these days are just being done like in Flash, and like the Flash animators maybe aren't coming out as much, or they're trying to find people that are maybe more skilled, willing to work for less, because that kind of feels the way things have been going.
It just seems to me a market imbalance that you have companies that are now focusing on the shareholder end of it, which is maximizing profit, and you have the artists that are being essentially pressured to be overworked, and they can't do it at the demand that exists. And so it's just going to have to be a matter of eventually the companies are going to have to sack up and pay these people more.
It's not even that they're overworked. Like they work 80 hours per week. And they're making under the poverty line. They're making less than $800.
Right, and that's what I'm just. It's all it is you have to hire more people so that you can have 2 people working 40 hours instead of 80 hours, and you have to pay them more so that they can actually sustain a living.
Well, the problem with that is, though, is those industries have such a high turnover rate that they never look at it like that. They never look at the long-term investment in human capital. They always view it as like the short-term, can we get people in to get the job done, and then see if it comes in under budget or it can come in around the budget. So they're not looking at like long-term profit or gain for the employee. They're doing the whole shareholder thing, which is like, how fast can we turn around money?
Right. And I get that, but the thing is if the product stops making money, at least in the same way that it is now, the market will have to react to it because the demand's there. And I said this to you, I think in Skype, that right now, as far as I know, Japanese games in the West are selling better than ever, setting records every single fucking release. So that obviously there's a difference between games and anime, but there is some correlation there between the influence of Japanese media in the United States and in the West. And if it is growing in the West and there is demand for it, and there's still just as much demand in Japan, which there seems to be, and in Asia, that eventually somebody's just going to have to meet that demand. These companies, whether they can float or whether they stand up or die under their own practices is up to them. But the demand is still there, and somebody's going to meet it because the money's there.
I mean, I have this thing which I'm going to screen share, and you can see the root of the problem, right? And I had a lot of subscribers after I made the video and say, by the way, V, I'm an animator. Thanks for highlighting this issue. So this is something that Arch posted, and I'm sure you guys know. So this is how much an animator makes. This is how much a college student that has a part-time job makes. This is someone that actually is a part-time job. And then you can see how much is a production assistant, CG animator, episode director, right? And then when you go all the way, like the person earning the most apparently are the voice actors.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
And that's called above the line, below the line. That's the term in Hollywood, is above the line, below the line. So the episode director would be the above the line, the CG animator would be below the line, which is why there's that huge disparity in terms of earnings, is because the above the line people are the names you have to get attached to something in order. They're either the people that find the money, they're the stars, they're what bring in the dough, but everyone else below the line are the ones that doing the grunt work that should be paid more, but no one gives a shit about them.
Right.
So, and like I said, that, like people wouldn't know that an anime is drawn by a particular animator.
Yes, they don't care. It's just like I said, they have to at some point. It's either going to be you're going to have to unionize or do something to that degree. And if you're smart, should try to do is drag in the voice actors, because that's how
Yeah.
you're going to make some fucking money.
Well, there's also that, and it's never so much like one animator doing the work that might draw in the people, but it's the name of someone who's popularized. Look at Kenji Inafune with Mighty Number 9, right? This guy comes out and he's just like, I'm gonna make a Mighty Number 9 successor because I was one of the original creators of the franchise, and I'm gonna make this thing, and everyone's like, oh my god, he's gonna be involved, and all this dude was a face, and and the product was shit. And then he also went out there and used that popularity to also raise more money, like 3 Kickstarters or something for Mighty Number 9, and then another Kickstarter for an anime that he wanted to do. And he capitalized on his face as being attached to this particular retro product. And then who knows how much work he actually invested. It's but that's just what those kind of people do. You're never looking at like, okay, best case scenario I can give you guys. Ever see the movie 9, the animated movie 9?
No.
Came out 9/99. It was, or 2009. It was, it was this whole thing. But anyway, Tim Burton produced this animated film, but everyone thought he directed it because his name was on all the advertisements. And all Tim Burton did was literally make a couple phone calls and help the director secure the funds he needed. That was it. He even admitted as such. But everyone thought he did it because his name was big letters, and that's how we associate in this regard. It's never necessarily the quality of the person making it. It's like how well their name is or how well known their name is.
Yeah, absolutely. And that exists in Japan for the voice actors. That's why they're paid so fucking much. They do have recognition and a following, and the animators don't, and that's why they're not paid shit. And so, like I said, if you're not going to have public recognition, which they're not going to happen. It would have happened by now if it was going to happen. You're going to have to unionize. That's the only solution that I can come up with. For if these people want to be paid more, if they want recognition, if they want to compete with management to be paid fairly and work decent hours, you're going to have to form some kind of fucking union to do it.
I remember
or else you're just going to get
strike. I remember the strike that voice actors in video games took, which delayed a lot of video games.
No, but that's not the same. That's not the same. Because there's a difference, one, in terms of the pay between the two, between Japan and in America. And there's also the difference of, unfortunately, with the people in gaming, that there are people that are paid quite a bit, that get a lot of work, that are in, like, Mundane just pointed out, in terms of recognition, that does exist in the gaming industry.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, in the gaming industry, these same people run around and they virtue signal about shit. And when they were trying to form the union, they did it in the exact wrong way. The exact wrong way.
Isn't Corbyn wanting to give unions governmental powers?
Yep. He's a cancer on this country, I swear to God.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's, I'm not really sure to what degree that he would have it, but, there is the labor board in the United States, although it's a joke. It doesn't actually do anything.
In the 70s in Britain, the unions had like a stranglehold.
Well, that's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Hold on, because I'm curious what happens when the unions have governmental powers. Go on.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think unions are a necessary thing. And I'm fine with collective bargaining, but like, I don't think they should be calling the shots.
Well, there's collective bargaining, and then there's institutional power.
What happens when they call the shots? Like, what were the consequences for Britain? What happened then?
Wait, say again.
When they called,
they just went on strike.
Oh, you ended up with like 3-day working weeks, and you had no, seriously, right? My dad was a kid. Well, he wasn't a kid, but he was young, and he remembers having like days without electricity in the country, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Why were they complaining?
Angola or something? Fucking. This is a first world nation. We had the world's largest empire, and we've got no electricity today.
Why were they complaining? Like, why were they on strike?
Because they wanted more money, obviously.
Yeah, but isn't going on strike causing you to lose money while you're on strike?
No, because you had laws and that allowed you to strike and industry action, all that sort of bollocks. But honestly, mate, there were times when there was rubbish piling up in the street because it wasn't being collected. It's like this is beyond the fucking pale. That's why Thatcher won 2 fucking terms. They're fucking useless, and they ruin everything because they're selfish and corrupt. That's the problem. Give them power, they get corrupt.
Well, that's the thing, is that if you
give workers the power and they go.
No, it's the people at the top. It's the people at the top that ultimately decide what happens. And like an example, in the United States, you have Trumka, the son of the original Trumka, who's the head of the AFL-CIO, which is as far as I know, it's the largest union in the United States. He's a corporatist. So what does that mean for that union, that you have a corporatist at the head of it? Well, that means you have no power. You do nothing. You accomplish nothing. You pass nothing.
Yeah, I know.
And that's exactly what's going on, because that's what happens when you have the largest union in the United States run by a corporatist. Nothing happens as a result of it. But if you were to take somebody who is like a, and that's the difference. I guess you would have somebody that, let's say that you essentially have a gangster at the head of a union, like you had with the Teamsters. They would use power that they would have to suit themselves and to suit the union, because it would help them in terms of retaining power.
Well, actually, I know that gangsters did have control of the unions, and what they would do is, like, if
certain
you wanted
unions.
to work there, if you wanted to work there, you would have to pay protection money to the gangster.
Yes, and in many unions, I would say that they were taken over by gangsters. You had gangsters roll in and just take it over and say, well, now we're here.
If you complained, it would happen that you had an accident while working.
Yeah.
You know?
And you'd be replaced by somebody that would be more willing to play ball or more afraid. So there were relationships that were beneficial, like mutually beneficial or symbiotic, I guess the phrase would be. I think the Teamsters were one such case that was like that, where you had unions basically relying on the gangsters for muscle and that.
Man, that's a really interesting history in America. I mean, I really love your gangster culture that you used to have.
Wow.
Like the
it's still around. It's just mostly black gangs now and Latino gangs.
Yeah,
in
but
LA
they're not as professional as the white man, you know? Because I've been talking with Sargon as well. It's like, no, like, listen. If you see when you see white people doing drugs and whatnot, it doesn't end up with as many deaths because it's bad for business. Like, killing people is bad for business.
No, I wouldn't agree with that. There's when the mafia was still around, they were pretty fucking crazy. They did a lot of crazy shit. So I wouldn't agree with that. They weren't as rational as they're portrayed.
But it's not.
They were. They absolutely were.
Yeah, but it's not to the point where you get, like, how many murders are there in New York? You know, how many per day?
Yeah, but that's like inter-gang murders.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you read The Godfather, or you actually look through, the history of
The
gangs,
Godfather,
like, they actually had agreements. Yeah, they had agreements between different families and whatnot.
But you're reading fictional books that are romanticizing reality.
Yeah, they weren't real.
They weren't.
Probably,
they were cooperative only when it suited them to do so for money. There were plenty
to be cooperative. That's what I'm saying.
No, well, the thing is that for how long until somebody does something that offends somebody and then there's a war? They're not. The mafia was not more rational than the average gang today. They weren't. They were just as stupid, as bloody.
I mean, yeah. Okay, fine. But I don't know how the conversation came about with Sargon. And we were reading this article, and it was like comparing different gang crimes in different races. And like the whites and the Latinos, and it came to the idea that, okay, these are more professional. Like, killing people is bad for business.
Well, it is. Like, you don't kill your customers.
I would say that with the different the different sort of racial groups that turned into gangs or whatever, I would say that there was some cleverness with Italian gangs in that, because they would always try to seek out institutional power. They would always try to basically infiltrate or embed loyalists within government and everything that they could get into. That's what they would do. But unfortunately, or I guess not really unfortunately, but to the detriment of the other kind of gangs, I haven't really seen that. They just seem to be fighting on the streets, especially with like black gangs and that. There's never really any kind of cleverness to how they do things.
No, it's pretty brutal and to the point.
Yeah,
but that's also their entire motive right there. It's like, keep it as violent and unpredictable as humanly possible, because that maintains the fear.
Yeah, definitely. You see a lot of that with the Latino gangs as well.
Well, I mean, look at look at the cartels in Mexico.
Yeah,
right. Like, how many people die? Like 50,000 people die a year in Mexico, or something like that, from cartel violence. And it's like you come across photos of them going into a house, killing everyone there, hanging the children.
Yeah,
and then leaving them
torsos on highways, murdering journalists.
Yeah, like murdering mayors, police chiefs, anyone who gets in their fucking way. And that is how they maintain the fear. That's how they keep acting. And the same thing goes in these smaller communities that you hear lots about, like, oh, every time there's a police involved shooting, right, people lose their shit. But then how many shootings are there every single year in that same community from local crime, local violence that never even gets any kind of look at whatsoever?
Black Lives Matter here. Hey, Black Lives Matter. But by the way, did you see the posters from Black Lives Matter saying that this is a police-free zone? Like, we will not report any crimes or any activities to the police.
Well, that seems to be the course that they've been going on. That a while back when they were talking about dissolving police forces, I thought that actually wouldn't be a thing that would catch on, but it seems to be like the next step that they're taking.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, this is like what gangs always try to do, like no snitching. You know?
Well, I don't think it would be that. It's just like this weird notion that like they actually have a justification.
Black people, that's what it is.
Well, there is this justification in their own mind that because police forces were built upon white nationalism or white identitarianism or
white imperialism,
white supremacy, that because of that by definition makes them illegitimate as an entity.
Yeah, they literally think that.
Yes.
And it's not white supremacy, it's white imperialism.
Hey, hold on. We have a bit of an update on the whole skeptic feminist thing. So according to their Facebook page, I got to find this here. But apparently, Athena. Anyone know who Athena is? Is that Harley?
No idea.
Okay, it says RDP had a psychotic episode. I'm talking to police to help them in the investigation. I spoke with him in IV 1 minute before the shooting. He was completely out of his mind. And it says signed.
You or Ivy?
So I do not know. I thought there might be like some kind of Wikipedia page for it or something like that. Like, some kind of like Encyclopedia Dramatica on skeptic feminists, but he's not even popular enough to warrant that.
The thing is, a lot of people are going, "Ooh, Encyclopedia Dramatica." It's actually very reliable when you look at their sources, right? So when they post a source, like a chat log between people or a picture or something like that, they're very accurate.
I'm gonna post this for you as an example of what I'm talking about. This is the kind of thing that you'll see coming out of Japan. They legitimately celebrate the voice actresses, especially women, that do anime. They're known. They're celebrities. That's why they get paid big bucks. They're celebrities. They have a following. Not all, but many of the bigger names that work on bigger projects. So it is a draw. I think that it is kind of what you see with what Mundane said about actors. It's a draw.
Well, I mean, popularity. I mean, look at like just to be like, look, we're YouTubers. You know what I mean? And our popularity is not even based on view count. It's more or less based on subscriber count. So in the eyes of many people, like in the pecking order from just this room, it'd be like what? Sargon, me, V, and then Louis, right? Like that would be the pecking order. So Louis's words could be correct, but people might actually, if Sargon disagrees. And I'm not saying he is, just as a...
Oh, I am disagreeing. Louis, you're a disgusting weed.
Well, there we go. Some people's minds, that would be more accurate and more truthful because of his popularity levels. Like, well,
because I'm more popular than you, that's...
Yeah, but it's also interesting because, and I do notice this quite a lot, right? Usually when Sargon steps in, other people quiet down. Like, I would tell Kraut a point. No, listen, like, this is interesting, right? We would talk, and I would disagree with Kraut, and Kraut would go like, no, V, you're stupid. And then Sargon goes like, oh, hold on, Kraut, V is right, blah, blah, blah. And then Kraut shuts the fuck up.
Hang on, Kraut. You're really underselling this, okay?
No, I'm serious, and I'm noticing this, right? But it's also interesting to point out that, for instance, I have less subscribers than Anita Sarkeesian, yet I do get more views than her. Like, I have more traffic than her. My platform is bigger than hers.
None of that even matters. It doesn't. It only would matter if, like, you were maybe talking to a marketer, someone who was trying to, like, get you to promote a product on their behalf. But other than that, people are going to look at her and look at those numbers and think, oh, there's been a lot more written about Anita Sarkeesian than V, so that makes her more popular. Absolutely. Even though what she says is patently false and easily discredited, it doesn't matter because.
And that's
of the
what actually,
population.
that's why it's pretty amazing what you're saying. I agree completely with you, Matt, and it's amazing with Anita specifically that I think one of the reasons why she was written about so much and promoted everywhere by all these different people is because they wanted her to have the bigger numbers. They wanted her to become more popular. And that is why they promoted her. Well, they wrote the articles. We see them as promotions, obviously, but they saw it from their angle as just, oh, well, I'm just writing this article on this notable person. But what they're trying to do is disseminate her brand, her.
Yeah, they're trying to, I would look at it as trying to like create a figurehead that they'd be able to kind of rally around and prop up to further push their own crazy ass fucking agenda. Or to justify pushing their own agenda. Like, well, we're using her as kind of a sounding board for what we think about this. And then, of course, Anita is just like, yeah, no, please continue to do this. I will gladly take the money.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's why she's going to be at VidCon next month, apparently giving some kind of speech.
Did you see her video?
I'm
going. Are you going, Sargon? I've heard.
I'm thinking about it. It's basically whether I can be bothered.
Yeah, it's fucking lazy.
It's going to be a gigantic shitlord convention. So
it sounds like it is. I think I might have to go just on that.
So yeah, I mean,
Sarkeesian's giving a speech. Jesus,
yeah.
I don't know. Front and center, just applauding everything wildly like a twat. And that's what I think we should all do. Literally wild applause to every single thing she says. Just obnoxiously wild applause.
What's going to be funny though is if we all go there, she's going to probably find out about it and have our pictures. Right, handed to security guards. Do not let these guys in.
These people are mean terrorists. Could you please prevent them? Report them to the FBI if you see them. They have things.
I've spoken about this at length to the UN.
By the way, Monday, you do have a lot of knowledge about movies. You're like the kid from The Last Action Hero, who goes into the cinema and knows. Right. What did you think about Anita's last episode?
Oh, the whitewashing thing?
What about
the whitewashing thing?
That was just
pretty awful.
And she was wearing but the best part about it was she was unironically wearing a Legend of Zelda t-shirt. Like, and she has been criticized as whitewashing so many times.
Yeah.
Because she
what's the argument that I gave her? It's like when Hollywood started, it was made by the Jews. I'm not even kidding. Like 80% of directors were Jewish, right?
Well, most of Hollywood now is even Jewish. So
basically, she's saying that Jewish people are racist. That's pretty much what she's saying. And not only that, right? Most of the reason they would hire black-faced actors is because they would hire based on nepotism, right? So they would hire someone that the director knows or the director trusts or anything like that. So that's why they didn't really hire black people in the beginning, because it was nepotism. And since they were like Jewish people, they weren't related to blacks, obviously. but like all of our videos can be
black Israelites, I think.
What's amazing about her videos, I was going to say, what's amazing about her videos is that I don't remember which one it was, but she actually cites certain videos in the 50s that were like overwhelmingly positive towards interracial couples, especially like Asian and white couples, like overwhelmingly in favor of them, featuring like major stars, and she basically condemned them all as racist.
Well, literally everything is racist.
And everything is homophobic.
Yeah.
You have to point it all out.
She
It's like
she wasn't fucking joking. She actually thinks they are.
Is it though? Like, does she actually think they are?
Dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, Sargon. I don't know, man. I think
listen, right? This is the philosophy of intersectionalism. I can't believe you haven't picked it up yet, right? I mean, there is a reason that Lacey Green called everything problematic. All they're saying really is that if it's got a majority of white people, then it's racist. If it's got a majority of men, it's racist. I shit you not. That's their actual opinion.
Yeah. And I do think that at this point she does believe it.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
She has
for years.
She hasn't shown the signs. She hasn't shown the signs that I would need to believe that she's just purely a con artist. In that, I mean, she obviously is trying to make money.
She is absolutely a con artist, but she is also an intersectional feminist.
Exactly. Yes, that's my point.
That's the thing. She is a dyed-in-the-wool ideologue for this stuff, and she's quite influential as well. She's got a good understanding of intersectionality, and that's important in the feminist community. So
apparently, there's a lot of people on Twitter.
She's someone who's sought after, you know.
Yeah. Still to this day, despite her massive.
Well, no, for feminism, she's done a great job.
I actually think she's not sought after, like, especially, you know.
She gets paid 20 grand a speech fee.
Yeah, she does. But recently, like, you haven't seen a lot about her, and her YouTube channel is going
she's
down.
not sought after in gaming, no.
Yeah. Well, no, she's still pursued by certain people, but it's just a matter of, you know,
the public, no.
Yeah, but that's the difference. Yeah, by the public, she's not sought after.
She never was, really.
No. And that's the thing about her YouTube channel. I mean, it's been at 200,000 subscribers since she started.
4 years or something, since I started, anyway.
So
her channel has not grown. Her Twitter has grown, and I've looked at
Twitter growing means a lot less. There are people who you follow people to keep an eye on what they're doing, not because you like.
Yeah, I mean, how many fucking people follow Sargon and hate him?
Yeah, exactly. I got thousands of them.
Probably a few, yeah.
It is called hate watching, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, they don't watch his videos.
I follow people on Twitter I don't like.
No, that's the best part. They have no idea what I actually think.
Yeah, they don't watch his
rarely
videos.
say on Twitter anything I actually believe. It's been honestly, I think honestly these days my Twitter is about 90% bait. I never reference a single video I make. It's like, okay, well, fine.
But yeah, there's a lot of people on Twitter apparently upset about this stream.
I'll let them be upset.
I retweeted someone personally insulting me. I'm fine with that.
Were they like, how could you? A woman has died.
Well, they're insulting my intelligence, which I mean is okay, sure. That's fine. I'm not really sure anything I've said here is meant to be taken all that seriously, other than what I've said that's been a little bit more serious.
I don't know. Situations are definitely like they're hard to navigate because some people, I commented about I had commented about this on Twitter. Someone came back, how many male feminists on the board is this now? And I'm all like, too many. And someone's like, way to score points off someone's death, asshole. And I'm like, let me clarify. I said too many as meaning there are too many male feminists that actively hurt women. Yet, that's not a good thing.
And that's what I mean. Like, again, it's just a matter of there has to be. I mean, I'm not going to say correlation causation. I'm just saying that there's many that can be pointed to. I mean, we just tweeted a list with 8, and I said this is nowhere near a complete list, and it's not. It's just a fact. I mean, I don't know what people want to say about it, but it's like all these male feminists that you have out there virtue signaling 24/7. There is a number of them that are legitimately fucking scummy people that are on their way to be convicted of something.
But the thing is, there's a reason for it. They're trying to ameliorate their own guilt. They can't. They can hardly claim to be a moral person by their own actions, so they have to be feminists.
Yeah. I mean, how many examples of domestic disputes, rape, sexual assaults, pedophiles? Like, how many examples do we need? I mean, if you saw anywhere near that on our side, anywhere near, I mean, it'd be 24/7. I mean, with people even with Sargon, all they have to do is make shit up. They don't. What are they going to accuse you of?
Oh, nothing.
Just make shit up. So
life is remarkably mundane. I quite like it that way.
Yeah, so they just make shit up, and that's all there is to it when it comes to our side. And the other thing is, even people that aren't us, they associate with us. I mean, that was the whole thing with John Tron and PewDiePie. That was the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, but on the plus side, we can flip that script and then point out that the Young Turks are inspiring Elliot Rodger style rampages. So
apparently,
yeah.
Oh, speaking of Young Turks, Anna Kasparian is also going to be at VidCon.
Really?
Yeah. See, I'm just Sargon. I'm sweetening the pot, bro.
You are selling it.
See, this is why you need to go on Alex Jones.
It's hard.
I might go on Alex Jones. Alex, one of his assistants, DM'd me the other day saying, "Hey, do you want to come on the stream?"
Yeah, do it. What are you waiting on? Too busy playing Ark?
I am a
fucking lazy piece of shit.
Honestly, I hate to say it, but it's more important to play Ark than to
Jesus Christ.
Can you get a laptop good enough to play Ark and then come out here anyway?
I actually do have a laptop good enough to play Ark, and
okay, you've got no fucking excuse.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I'll be in the middle of VidCon and people will be wanting to talk to me. I'll be like, "Excuse me."
He's afraid of his reputation. That's why he's not going to do it.
Okay, well here's
my reputation. Jesus, I love my reputation.
He's on his stream making fun of someone that just got murdered. He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to go on Alex Jones. I'm afraid of my reputation."
Whoa! Don't tar me with your guilty brush. I didn't make fun of someone who got murdered. I was the one moral fagging, according to
Okay.
But don't give me
Okay.
that.
I'm gonna look at.
I'm back, by the way. Hi. Did you guys see the because I don't know what you've looked at because I was out, the Facebook posts by the Skeptic Feminists?
No.
No, can you give a link?
Oh, I posted something in the chat about that. Our chat.
Okay. All I have is an image that's been tweeted out by Tom Bloke, but I assume that the only issue is the context and not the image itself. So, okay.
Yeah, someone put that into context for us.
Yeah. So this is what the Skeptic Feminist said on Facebook, apparently. RDP had a psychotic episode. I assume that's Russian Deadpool. I am talking to police to help them in the investigation. I spoke with him and Ivy 1 minute before the shooting. He was completely out of his mind. Apparently, this is from someone called Athena.
Right, okay.
So we don't know any
Is
more than
anyone-
that.
Any more than that? Is that literally it?
Yeah, pretty much. So it seems like it wasn't a crime of any sort of rational reason. It was just a psychotic thing.
Does anyone have Uzalu's mic as just shotgun loud?
No.
No? Is it just it's just me that his voice sounds so fucking loud? I'm ready to go deaf.
Sorry, he seems pretty normal to me.
Yeah, sounds fine.
Aww.
Well, okay, so I'm looking at the Skeptic Feminist YouTube page right now, and on March 4th, they posted a video, the epic love story of RDP and Athena. And I don't know, again, so someone told me that Athena is an Australian cosplayer and or feminist that they had on live stream.
All right.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Is it possible that Athena is Harley Quinn?
No, she posted on Twitter saying she was fine.
Yeah, but we haven't heard anything out of Ivy, which is the current theme or the current speculation is that Ivy is the one who was killed.
I saw your tweet, Matt.
Yeah.
About that. Good picture you found.
I just Googled Skeptic Feminist, and that's the first thing
Yeah.
that popped up, and I'm like, all right, that works.
It is sad, genuinely. Aside from the jokes. Yeah.
No,
But
I mean,
I am going to keep memeing, though.
I can be sad, nothing, and make jokes. I mean, it's not mutually
Yeah.
exclusive.
Yeah, this is all gallows humor. That's the thing.
Do you know our predictions about the how the SJWs were going to jump on us for being unapologetic shitlords? It came true several times over. They found instances of me, like I said in the chat, press 1 if it's not too soon to make jokes, to make memes, like murder memes. And Tom Avella tweeted it out saying like, I should be surprised, but I'm not, or something like that.
Who?
Tom Avella, he's a like ANCOM
I don't know.
and an SJW.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's at the same time a feminist and an anarchist.
So this is something interesting. Like the feminists, the skeptic feminist tweeted something. Let me just.
I've been linked to some sort of.
They were like, "Stop telling everyone facts, damn it!" And he replies to RDP cannot be white genocided because Slavs aren't white. Is it tweeting from jail?
Pretty red-pilled.
Oh, someone's linked me to exactly where I was reading that from. Okay, gotcha. The previous quote. So yeah, I can confirm that is real. What Tom Bloke posted.
Oh, I think
I posted that in the chat.
Hold on.
I posted it a little bit ago.
Guys, their account got hacked.
Good grief.
What?
No, just the rarity of Tom Bloke not taking something out of context.
But I think their account got hacked because look at this, right? Just white genocide me already and get it over with. Internalized misogyny.
No, they're just shitposting.
I think they are just shitposting. Yeah.
Are they shitposting or is it their account getting hacked?
They're not your traditional internet feminists. They're a bit unusual.
Yeah, I know, but it's just really weird. Like they're talking about Trump and shit. So I mean, maybe it's them, but I honestly do think that they got hacked.
I doubt it.
No, I mean, this is just, I guess the only thing we could do would be contact the Denver police and see if they have any information, but
They would say it's an ongoing investigation.
Maybe we can be like his one phone call or something.
Hey, RDP, do you want to come on a stream? I'm gonna dial you in. Just tell me your story. Don't worry,
all
no
about the
one's
meat.
listening.
Just spend the first 10 minutes telling him about the memes, and then when it's done, we can get his updates on the situation.
Yeah.
Get our priorities straight, basically.
Man, that's pretty fucking crazy, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also not unexpected at this point. Like, I'm waiting for Jonathan McIntosh to snap.
Oh god, when he goes mental, I swear to God, he's got the makings of a school shooter in him.
And he's not even at school.
No, that's the worst part.
No, you're going to start hearing about a string of Anitas being killed across the country, relatively unconnected, and then all of a sudden you're going to find out that it's McIntosh.
Bludgeoned to death with various different kinds of game controller.
Take a look at this
video,
tweet.
you stupid bitch.
Take a look at this tweet that I just put in there. Take a look at that.
Oh no, it's Ivanka weighing in.
What? Ivanka, what?
Yeah, no, Ivanka's definitely talking about Deadpool and not something completely different. Lewis is trying to distract us from the conversation.
Right, okay.
Bridging.
This is a member of the First Family, goddammit.
This is important.
Yeah, but the First Family is headed by fucking Trump. So consider me completely unimpressed.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, she's
Being an American is fun right now. I mean, not really, but
To be fair, would you rather Hillary? That's the question.
you know what? I'll tell you this. I don't know, but I'd prefer someone who could speak in complete fucking sentences.
Get the fuck off my
want,
stream.
I want a person who has a cognitive thought in their fucking brain. I want a person that's not making vague threats on Twitter. I want a person that doesn't contradict the administration all the time.
Trump trash talking people on Twitter is definitely the best part.
Whatever you may think about Trump, you have to agree he probably is more fun than Hillary would have been.
Oh yeah, clearly more fun. But
That's enough for me, basically. Come on. I mean, that's the reason I advocated for it.
Oh god. Oh man, this is so. You watch it, and then it's like you just watch people like scramble to defend the things that he does.
Why would anyone try and do anything like that?
Because you talk to his supporters on Twitter, and it's like Trump could literally walk over to an infant and shit on his face, and his supporters will be like, "Yeah, that infant probably deserved it."
You know what's true? You know what is true? If Trump actually shits on an infant, there would probably be a previous American president who also shat on an infant. Like, there is nothing Trump did that other
Or
presidents
Hillary did
didn't
it
do.
too.
Yeah, Hillary didn't shit on an infant; she hit on an immigrant infant. So it's even worse. Like that's going to be like where they're going to take it, something like that. It's just, I don't know. I wish we would have like competent people in office, and we don't.
Nah, it's corruption from here on out for you, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Pretty much, because you know what's going to happen is like the Dems are going to start gaining control again in 2018.
I don't think they are.
No, that's not happening.
No. You can argue all you want, but they're right now. Look at the Tea Party tactics that they're using in order for the marches and everything else.
Dude.
And so,
Okay.
No one wants that crazy ideological nonsense.
It's not all crazy. There's ideological nonsense on both sides.
Yeah,
right.
But the Dems one is like, we fucking hate white people.
It's not.
It's got old.
It's not every freaking Dem though. It's like this is the problem. This is the problem with the way the media runs things. Is because the media gives the attention to these people, which then creates that particular mindset. And it is a problem with the way things are being talked about. But most people, like I think most people are politically fluid in terms of where they are on certain issues. But when it comes to the way the media has been pushing a lot of the stuff here, yeah, I agree. Like they're not showing, they're playing the identity politics card too hard, and that is what cost them the election in some respects. But there are people that are amassing a pushback, and that pushback,
right? But it doesn't matter in fucking coastal cities. That's the problem. Is that they're good in all the safe seats. You're right. They're safe there. But I'm talking about every other fucking seat that they've lost. And they don't have a chance
because they've also lost. And this is the thing too. And this has come out, and like you've heard people from the Democrats saying this. They stopped listening, and that was a big criticism on Obama towards the end. Is that Obama just stopped listening to people?
They stopped listening, and they don't have the organization, and that hasn't changed in iota.
But they are in a position right now where they can start regaining some of that. But it's also going to be a big push from the citizens who are not happy with the way things are going. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that, for one, the party politics is just running so strong right now. Republicans are too afraid to stand up to the leadership if they disagree with it. The Dems are too. So there's like, I'm not saying that that's not happening on the other side, but because they are in control of the House and the Senate and the presidency, they are, you know, going to play that part. But the people are coming out now in droves to fight back against it. We're seeing the left's version of the Tea Party
again. But are those people? Where the fuck were those people the last election? They voted.
Those people. Those people were flat out under the belief that Hillary was going to win, just because she was Hillary. That was the narrative that was pushed by everybody.
Fine, but your debate. But I'm sitting here telling you that as it relates to the numbers, as it's going to relate in a turnout during a midterm. Okay, it's not even the midterms. It's not going to work. They have no hope. They have no.
I disagree. I disagree, because we also thought the Tea Party had no hope. No, that was true. In 2010, you thought the Tea Party had no hope because they were apparently an unorganized mess that were trying to push through people who didn't know anything about politics, and they got a lot of people elected. And that happened. And those same strategies have now been adopted by the Democrats. Maybe not the official ones, but there are numerous groups out there that are doing that kind of stuff. And this came at the end of the Obama administration, when staffers took the Tea Party playbook and they repurposed it for Democrat purpose, and they sent it out there. And there are groups that are organizing.
Right, but we're talking about the same playbook.
We're talking about the constant shift. And the reason why there's
no shift. There's no shift.
There's going to be a shift. No, there's going to be, because what you're going to see is that you got Trump supporters right now that are looking at their healthcare, that are saying, oh shit, I'm going to lose my healthcare under this particular, this new change, this repealing of Obamacare. Even though Obamacare is shit, don't get me wrong. Right. They're going to be freaked out by that. And they're going to,
but they're not campaigning on that, are they?
They are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They absolutely are. I've seen so much footage from town halls across the country, especially in the South, in deep red parts of the South, and that people are coming out and they're saying, no, I don't want this to be changed. And they are threatening many representatives and everyone else that if they go down that path, they are going to run to jeopardy. When the House voted to repeal Obamacare, 20 representatives went from like the organization that polls whether or not they'll be reelected, basically lost their chance at reelection next year, right? So you're seeing the shift of people that are so afraid to argue against party politics that it's going to end up costing them. And again, it might come out of nowhere, because the representatives in power right now aren't even remotely listening, which is the biggest problem overall in our political system.
I mean, it's just a matter of the Democrats actually have to put forward some kind of proposition for what they're actually going to have to stand for, and it can't just be in districts they already control. And the issue is that
white people, Louis.
No, it's not. No, I don't think that that's a fair representation. I think it's even less than that. I think you're getting that out of progressives. You're not even going to get that out of most Democrats. Most Democrats are just going to say, "We need to lead with our values. We're a real alternative to the Republican Party."
I think healthcare is white genocide.
Well, the issue is that the Democrats actually have to have a vision. First, they need to do an autopsy on why they lost the campaign. Then they're actually going to have some kind of strategy to win back the seats in districts that they don't already control for the next election. And they don't have that strategy. They don't have it. They don't have the infrastructure. They just have money and platitudes. And as we've seen in that last election, and for multiple elections, that isn't going to work. So as it relates to the Rust Belt, where they need to win,
that might work though when it comes to getting to the representatives and whatnot. It's not hard to sway a community. It's not hard because it's a localized thing. This is the biggest problem that stems from this. You have the nationwide politics, which really only impacts, in terms of voters, one job. And then you've got the districts and the states and everything else with senators and representatives. And you've got those people there that are able to campaign properly. Again, if the Democrats take the Tea Party tactics and they use
but it's not the Tea Party. That's another misrepresentation.
No, it's not the Tea Party, but it's the same mentality of why the Tea Party.
But it's literally the establishment of the party. What is it resisting?
It's resisting. Oh, okay, I want to say that it's resisting. Like it's you have people that are just getting generally upset at the system. Okay, keep in mind that a lot of people who voted for Trump that they voted not to elect Hillary. There's a large number of those people there, those people that are kind of relative fence sitters. And what you're learning more about nowadays is that more and more people are, and this isn't a great deal, but there are quite a few that are coming out as more independent or libertarian minded or not part of the two-party system. And they kind of vote dependent on how they're feeling at the time. And so if they're able to sway those people in certain districts, then they might start seeing that change. But at the same time, we also ebb and flow in terms of certain things, of like how we vote politically, one majority over the other, it goes back and forth. And the problem though, and this is the whole thing, the problem though, is the Democrats thought that under Obama, that they probably thought that was going to be the end of the Republican Party because no one was going to ever vote Republican ever again. And that was the biggest issue, is they lost their way. And Trump came in very much as a populist, telling people what they wanted to hear. And that worked for him. And he played the electoral game, whereas Hillary very much was like feeling entitled to it.
And what I'm saying is that for something like that to happen with the Democrats, it has to come outside of the party itself. And with the party itself now, it is the party itself standing up under the same leadership that lost every single one of these fucking seats, saying that they're going to win them back. And I'm telling you, that is not going to happen. Because
it's not really the same leadership. I mean,
no, it is. It is absolutely the same fucking people that lost those seats.
Chair, isn't he?
It's no, they like, when it's not necessarily. Look, I'm not disagreeing with every part of that. I'm saying that it's like not the same people. There's different head of the DNC now. Yeah, he's more established than the other guy that they wanted to, like the Bernicrat that was running up there as well. And that one chick that was like, what, that whole white voices comment.
There was a bunch of people. There was a bunch of people.
I'm not saying that they're not going to have a fight ahead of them, or that they're even going to win. I don't know if they're going to win. Anything could happen. But my theory, based just on how we tend to give and take in regards to politics in this country, if the Republicans in power right now do not stop playing this bullshit and actually try to work for everybody instead of their base, then that's going to hurt them come the next election, whether it's 2018 or 2020. It's going to hurt them. And that's the same problem that the Democrats face. And it goes both ways. So it's what I would love to see is I'd love to see more candidates come out that are open to breaking down the political barriers and having the conversations. One of the reasons why Lacey Green coming out the way she did caused so many people to lose their shit was because no one fucking expected it. And
right,
it was
and I'm going to tell you that the way things are heading right now, that is not going to happen in the Democratic Party, because they can't even they can't contain the progressives. They've lost any notion of the progressives coming back on board. You can have the Young Turks out there spouting DNC talking points, but it's not going to win those.
No, I don't disagree with you, but you also have to understand that when we're kind of restricted to two different choices only, and we only have the red or the blue, some people are going to look at that as like, well, what's the lesser of two evils here?
And there's going to be, and that's the issue. It's the turnout and how many people are just going to sit home at the.
I know.
Not just in terms of the difference between a presidential election and a midterm, or a term, an election not during a presidential election. That would be specifically the difference of turnout. But it's also at the same time, your turnout is depressed because your party is completely fucking fractured. And you are unwilling to even consider that as an issue, and it is your primary issue, that the party is itself fractured.
I agree completely. I do agree completely.
So in terms of a surge coming back, I would say that in the next election, what you are going to see. Excuse me for a second. All right, I'm going to end this with just this last part, but. With the party itself as it is now, it literally does not have the infrastructure. It has the money, okay? It has the money to win an election, but what it doesn't have is the vision, and it doesn't have coherence within the party itself. There is nothing that they're running on. You can say healthcare, but even there's immediately a fracturing between the Bernicrats, as you said, who want single payer and want them to say single payer, and then there are the corporatists who will never say single payer.
Stop this discussion, but I really have to go. So
all right.
Yeah, I gotta get my videos done for today too.
But I enjoyed hearing you guys, because it's rare that you get to hear someone who supports the Democrats with someone who supports the Republican going at each other.
I'm not a Republican.
I'm not a Democrat.
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway.
No, but
that should tell you everything you need to know about
American
American
politics,
right?
Yeah.
it's good to argue the points regardless. So like that's all well and good. Like,
I enjoy the conversation. It's good to talk.
no, absolutely. I think it's good to have these kind of healthy debates, even if you're kind of like just coming at it from a pro or con approach.
Anyway,
So-
I'm gonna go and you guys can still talk. I think it's like 4 or 5 minutes until the stream closes.
All right. Well, I got to run too. So
Yeah, I gotta go anyways.
But so
He just leaves.
Sorry, I just fucks off.
We have control of V's channel now. What should we do?
We
with it?
literally do.
Oh, so clearly it's gay porn. We got to pull from the Sargon playbook
Yeah.
here.
Okay,
Pull
chat.
up the-
What should we do with the channel other than the gay porn, which will obviously get
I'm
right
just gonna show my channel now that he can't stop me to do
everyone
it.
subscribe to these guys.
Show your
That's
channel,
true.
Matt. Show your channel right now. Show it.
Monday Matt is the channel. Most of you fuckers probably know who I am. So no, but it's good to have these discussions, and definitely subscribe to my channel because I post a lot of content.
Hold on, I can shill pretty mightily here. 1 second.
Do it.
Well, I gotta go anyways. But anyways, yeah, subscribe
go.
to me. Louis, yeah, fuck off.
Subscribe.
Louis,
Subscribe.
Louis, subscribe to me.
I'm better than him. Subscribe.
V is a fucking piece of fucking faggot, cocksucker, motherfucker. I hate him. His
Don't
channel is
forget Gypsy.
garbage. Chad is garbage. His subscriber base is garbage.
Everyone unsubscribe from V.
Fuck him. I got
Someone
nothing
says, "Show us Matt's penis." No.
God. If any time is the time to show the world your penis, now is the time.
It only happens if you subscribe.
Oh, yeah, if you subscribe.
Okay, chat. If you subscribe to all of our channels, then unsubscribe from these. You'll see Matt's penis.
Yes.
I'm promising this on his behalf. He has no power to reject.
It's for patrons only.
We're
Dick
patron
pics.
only, yeah, dick pics, patron only dick pics. That's how you do it.
All right, I'm gonna go. Good talking to you guys.
Yeah, talk to you guys later.
right.
Bye.
Aha! They both left. It's just me. Okay, I am actually gonna go though because there's nothing more to say. Fucking gypsy lovers.